T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and...
Welcome, everybody, back to the original Jeek podcast. We are your hosts, Rockinmrmagic,
UniqDNA.
This is the original Jeek podcast.
Gang. I don't see no competition in my face. If we do, then we just move them out the way. I don't even need no money in my face. Hold on. Give me the money when I finish with the game.
All right, so Super Bowl is upon us, and we've got a familiar face and a unfamiliar face in the Philadelphia Eagles facing the New England Patriots. Of course, we've seen this happen before, and we've got some similar players, well, two similar players. I don't think anybody but Brady and Belichick are still on that squad from the last time these two teams met. But the Philadelphia fans, remember, they're still salty because they're Philadelphia fans, and they are hoping for some revenge. So let's talk Super Bowl. Let's start with our guest, Brad Repa. If you recall, he was on last year's Super Bowl reaction episode. And let's see, obviously, if you recall, he's a Patriots fan. So let's see his take on this upcoming Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, first of all, I just got to say, it's kind of getting old. I mean, this is now Brady's eighth Super Bowl.
Wow.
No. I know it's going to come off. Like,
from the mouth of the Patriot fanatic.
I love it. I went to send-off. Love Tom Brady. Love everything. You know what I hate? I hate not being able to enjoy Super Bowls. You know, everyone thinks when you're a Patriot fan, oh, you go every year. It's so great. I can't enjoy it. I don't get to watch commercials. I can't go to a party. I can't be around people when I watch the games. I want 6 rings for Tom Brady. I want to enjoy a game. Didn't enjoy it last year. Haven't enjoyed it in years. I mean, biggest win was 6 points. I haven't enjoyed a halftime Super Bowl show. I mean, yeah, everyone's jealous of us, but I'm jealous of, like, not being able to sit back and just relax and enjoy a game. Hopefully this year we're going to blow out the Eagles. I'm not sure. I mean, everyone's saying how good the Eagles defense is, but I've seen them give up close to 40 points to the Giants this year. I mean, Minnesota played a terrible game. Everyone thinks Nick Foles is going to do that again. I just don't see it. Tom Brady's going to go out there, you know, start off slow, feel out the defense, but I think they get the job done by at least 15, 20 points.
Okay. Well, one, I have to say I'm shocked. I think David's shocked too. Like so you can't enjoy the game. I don't understand this.
I want to address that first.
Okay, I can't enjoy the game because here's the thing. If the Patriots win, everyone comes out and says, oh, they cheat. They do this and that. They're supposed to win. You don't even get to enjoy the victory. But if they lose, and me being from Pennsylvania and everything, everyone is going to talk so much trash. Everyone just waits every single year until the Patriots finally lose. You can't enjoy it. No one ever comes up to you and says, oh, congratulations, your team did it. Like, you must be so happy. It's like, fuck the Patriots. They're a bunch of cheaters. It's not enjoyable anymore. It really isn't. That's why I never leave the house for games anymore. You know, me and my wife, we just sit in and we enjoy it. We would like to have a party and have people over. But as soon as they lose, everyone would just put my reaction up on Facebook or something. And if they lose this game, that's all Facebook's going to be. Bunch of haters just coming at us, but they won't say anything when the Patriots actually win the game.
Okay, so I got you. So
that's fair. That's fair.
Enjoy it because people are stupid.
But I think that's every team, though. I think every team.
But he's got a point because when you're a fan of a franchise that happens to be in a dynasty type mode, the haters are stronger than normal. If you're a Lakers fan in the 80s, if you're a Bulls fan in the 90s, if Giants. You're a Patriots fan now, you know, if your team is in the middle of a hot run, everybody hate is going to compound, and they're going to give you garbage whether you win or lose. And I haven't thought about the fact that you really can't have a Super Bowl party and, enjoy people coming over because they're going to give you a bunch of crap because you're a Patriots fan and they hate the squad. I guess being a Lions fan, but obviously as a Michigan man, loving Tom Brady, I'm all good with them winning. Like, okay, my Lions, I don't expect the Lions to win. I would love it.
I don't think anybody ever expects the Lions to win.
We don't expect them to win, but it would be great. But I don't know. I guess I would probably be a little happier than you are if my team was about to go for their 6th Super Bowl. But I can understand where you're coming from. I probably like the hate because me, I'm very contrary. I like the confrontation. So I would probably just egg it on, kind of like Bill Laimbeer, like, come on, boo me, I don't care. But
I mean, I enjoy the team success, and I enjoy watching Tom Brady. This has been a completely different season because it's the end. You're seeing the end of Tom Brady. I mean, he might go to 45, but you're still looking at a max of 5 years. So This might be his last Super Bowl. I mean, you don't know what happens. He gets injured, and then he's done. So I enjoy that. But the problem is, while I'm enjoying that, everyone brings their hate, and it just makes it so much worse because Tom Brady is 40 years old. I mean, his arm might get tired. And if he has a bad game, they're like, well, Brady wasn't that good to begin with. The guy has 5 Super Bowl rings. He's the greatest of all time. They came back down from 25 points last year. I mean, you cannot base legacy on what he does at 41, 42, and 43. But everyone will just talk, oh, your team finally loses. I guess they can't cheat anymore. It's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, you're not going to get an argument out of me from that because I think Mark Schlereth was on a show recently. He commented that about the whole Patriots, the whole cheating legacy, things like that, and that he's made the statement as other people have ever since Spygate, but really since Deflategate, is that every single team does things around the rules, bends the rules, or flat out cheats. And it's either whether you get caught or you don't get caught. During the Deflategate year, the Vikings were warming footballs on the sidelines. They only got fined $20,000, but Brady gets suspended for 4 games. And
I think the problem with Deflategate, though, is that and the Spygate thing, it's like everyone just heard the initial reports, like 11 or 12 balls were, heavily under deflated, whatever like that. But it wasn't true. It was only one ball that was 2 pounds under, and that was the one that the Colts intercepted. The other ones were just a tick under. And the Colts balls, 3 out of 4 were under as well. But you don't hear that anymore. It's just, 11 out of 12 balls, they cheated. It's like Tom Brady destroyed his cell phone. People are acting like Tom Brady went to the NFL hearing, and they're like, let's see your cell phone. And he, smashed it under his foot or something like that. He got a new phone, and he deleted it like most rich people do. And he gave them all the text messages. He didn't want nobody to see those pictures. He gave them all the text messages, and he gave them all the phone records. They had everything. I mean, he didn't trust the NFL to keep his picture safe. No, and why would he? Because they released his emails.
Right. I wouldn't either.
Yeah. So, he didn't smash his phone. He got a new one. He didn't want to hand it over.
Can't even trust the FBI to keep your emails safe nowadays.
He probably had
trust nobody. Come on, man. You can't trust.
He probably had a video of him kissing his son for 10 seconds on the lips that he didn't want to get out there until Tom versus Time came out now.
That was creepy. I ain't gonna lie.
It was a little creepy.
That was creepy, dog.
I had to talk to my wife about it.
I kiss my kids. On
the lips for 10 seconds? No. And it's give me a good one?
Yeah, I kissed my son when he was young, but there's a time where the kid's a bit big for that. If the kid was 4 or 5, okay. That boy looked like he was 10, maybe 12.
He's 11 years old. 11 or 12, yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. Some cultures are different. I don't know what California. He's a California guy, but that was definitely. different.
I don't care where you're from. That's a little odd. I mean, there's loving, and then there's I mean, it would be no different than if he was being breastfed at that point.
Yeah.
It's a little too.
Yeah.
It's like you're too old. You can't do it on lips.
Yeah.
Do it on a cheek for 10 seconds.
Kiss the boy's forehead, to the top of his head, something like that. If you still want to kiss your dad at that age, but kissing the boy on the lips. The first even peck, I was like, okay, whatever. Some people are different, but that was a bit much. That holding there, I was like, what did I just see?
Yeah, I mean, that was a warm embrace. That was a little too much, I thought. But what have you thought of the Tom versus Time?
Okay. Wow. Oh man. Here's my thing with Tom versus Time. Tom Brady is a master at setting things up. He has always been effective at setting things up. He was when he was in college, and he set himself up for success when he was ready when his time was called his senior year. He was ready when Bledsoe went down. He's always prepared. He was prepared if he didn't get drafted to get a job. Like, the man is always prepared. So I think Tom versus Time is preparation for him to take his next step. I know he said he wants to play another 4 or 5 years, but realistically, I think behind the back of his mind, he's saying to himself, this is probably not going to last that long. And I think he's preparing for that next step, and he's giving you a glimpse into what it takes. Because, like, most people do not understand, even if they played high school sports, most people don't understand what it takes to prepare your body for that level of competition, from warming up to playing to cooling down and recuperating. People just don't understand. And when they hear things about guys like Brady and what he's doing with Alex, whatever that is,
Alex Guerrero.
And then you hear about guys like Mari Stoudemire taking wine baths, and just things that sound crazy and kooky, but it's in the prepared.
Moises Alou pissing on his hands.
Right. Moises crazy. But you hear stuff like this, and they're like, why would you do such inane, crazy things? It's in the preparation and the recuperation of their bodies, because that's how they make the money. And so I'm watching Tom and getting his body prepared, and I'm saying this is part of his exit strategy. This is kind of like Tom Brady's exit interview with the fans.
I mean, I don't know, because the guy puts in a crazy amount of work. There's no way he's retiring this year, next year. I don't, maybe not 45, but 3 years, I think. I'm
not saying this is guaranteed, like, okay, Tom wins, he's done. This is I'm telling you, this is an exit interview. It doesn't mean this is like his 2 weeks notice, which is more like, his 2 years, hey, then I'm going to ride to the sunset.
I mean, people are saying that if he wins the Super Bowl, he retires. There's no way he would do that to Robert Kraft. If he
better not after we trade away.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, they had to have the conversation, like, what if we win the Super Bowl this year? Are you done? We will keep Garoppolo. And he had to say, no, I'm not done, even if we win. And why would he be done? He's still – how many quarterbacks will you take over Tom Brady next year?
There's not many.
I mean, you take Aaron Rodgers.
But not named Aaron Rodgers?
But, I mean, okay, would you take –
That's the only one, and that's the only one. Like, he's the only quarterback in the NFL right now that if Tom Brady's not playing – or even Tom Brady's playing, that I would consider taking.
If in 2 years you're getting 75% of what Tom Brady did this year, how many quarterbacks do you take over him?
Not a single
Aaron Rodgers?
No, Aaron. I would still consider. He's the only one in the conversation.
Like 75% of Tom Brady.
He's the only one that. Yeah, I would take Aaron Rodgers over 75% of Brady.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, but like, who else besides Aaron Rodgers would you take over Tom Brady?
I don't trust Andrew Luck. Derek
He's
Carr,
still not even throwing.
Yeah, Derek Carr hasn't shown me enough. Russell Wilson, I would take Russell Wilson over 75% of Brady.
But Russell Wilson, runs so much, he can take a hit too. I mean, he might not be okay. So maybe Russell Wilson I can see, but
But nobody else. It would be AR and Russ. Everybody else, I don't trust enough.
I mean, maybe you would think of Deshaun Watson.
No,
in 2 years.
Nah. I mean,
I think he still got
time. And in 2 years, Drew Brees will be too old.
Drew Brees, yeah.
So you're looking at a top 2, top 3 quarterback in 2 years at 75% drop. I mean, there's no need for him to retire. The guy studies like crazy. He takes care of his body. He knows where his receivers are at all time. Like, he doesn't have to be some young, it's a mental game at this point for him. Defenses can't stop him. You can only hit him. I mean, you got to sack the guy. Mm-hmm. And all they got to do is they got to draft a quarterback for the future, and they got to get offensive line up.
Yes.
If they keep Tom Brady up, they're fine. They can win any game if they can keep him standing up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, good luck, Eagles. You better rush all 4 and better get there, because if you don't, he will pick that team apart.
Well, the defense you mentioned earlier, they're good. Yeah. I agree with you. The Vikings played
Eagles?
a terrible game. Yeah. The Eagles defense is good, but I agree. The Vikings played a terrible game.
But are they all like – you've never heard anyone this year compare them to one of the greatest defenses of all time.
No, I have, but those are Eagles fans. They're not.
Okay, they're crazy.
Yeah, they don't count because they're not mired in reality. The team is good. The defense is good. Obviously, Carson Wentz being available would make them a whole lot more dangerous.
And I would love to see that matchup. I mean, I'm not some 7-year-old kid that goes on the news and roots for quarterbacks to get injured like, Eagles fans do. But I mean, like, the Eagles should be proud that they got their team with a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm sorry. I'm not that scared of the defense. I mean, if they can rush off, pressure all 4, then – you will give Brady some problems. But if they do that, the running backs are going to kill him. I mean, Dion Lewis is going to have a great game.
Dion Lewis and James White, I think, are going to show out the Super Bowl. I think they make the difference, just like last year when James White made the difference and should have been the Super Bowl MVP. This year, I think it's going to be them. They even asked about the check down to Brady with those backs. I think they said this year Dion Lewis caught 53 of the 68 passes thrown his way. Like, he's gonna catch the ball. He's gonna get yak, whether it's him or White. And they both are strong enough to move the pile if needed. They're both great in the red zone, and they both are surprisingly good blockers for being such small dudes. So
I mean, they could potentially line up 3 running backs in a set. They could have a 2-back with White and Lewis, and then they can have Rex Berkman line up as a slot receiver.
Yeah.
And then who's going to cover all 3? I mean, you're going to have a linebacker cover one of those guys.
Yeah.
So as soon as Brady sees it, he can get rid of the ball in 2 seconds. You're not going to get pressure on him in 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's the thing. They have to do something to keep – they have to – one thing they're going to have to do is they're going to have to jam hard. They're going to have to slow up the receivers. If they can't get good jams off the line of scrimmage, those DBs are going to have problems. And like you said, they're going to get the ball out in 2 seconds or 2.5 seconds. The ball's going to be gone. And they won't have time to get their hands on Brady.
I mean, the Patriots don't run a lot of deep routes. They'll go deep to Cooks every once in a while, but, I mean, they're not throw the ball 30, 40 yards down the field all the time.
No, they're a nickel and dime offense.
Yeah.
No.
But I'm not confident in Philly's offense at all.
No, the thing that scares me about Philly offense is that, the RPO that they like to run. And the Patriots have slow linebackers. If the Patriots play from behind, there's going to be a lot of problems because if they play action or do RPO, they have to, keep those linebackers honest. And they'll get killed running horizontally across the field. They're just not fast enough to match up. Yeah. However, if New England gets in the lead and they're like, we'll let Ajayi run for 3 or 4 yards every play, keep the linebackers back, Philly's done then because they can the Patriots can cover Jeffries. They probably can cover Aguilar. Chung will do a decent enough job against Ertz. I'm just more scared of, running across the field and picking up 20, 30 yards on a play.
Yeah, the running game is the biggest threat, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is because, again, you have to bring those linebackers up, and they don't have the speed to catch up. But when you're in the lead and they're not going to run the ball, or you don't care if they run for, little chunks here and there and just run the clock out, then the linebackers stay back, and, they have a bigger advantage on that. It's going to be who plays from the lead. If Philly's in the lead, Patriots are in trouble. If Patriots are in the lead, then Philly's done, I think. I don't think Philly can catch up if they're down by more than 10 points. I mean, it's over. They're not. Foles isn't going to do it.
See, I wouldn't. If I'm Philly, I try to get ahead. But the thing is, no one makes halftime adjustments like the Patriots do, and you have to try to blow them out. Like the Eagles, to win, they have to blow them out. They have to try to put up 50 because they can't let up. If they let up in any way, they're going to get exploited, offensively or defensively. Something is going to happen. It does. It's football, and I'm looking at the matchups here, and I just look at it. Despite the fact that on paper Philly is a much more talented team, the experience on the Patriots side is just overwhelming. And they have a lot of intangible type players. You mentioned Patrick Chung. Don't forget Harrison's been getting, he's
been getting a lot of pressure. I mean, thank you Pittsburgh for keeping him fresh all year.
Yeah, pretty much. And Malcolm Butler's playing, to his level, and this defense, and it amazes me because they're still as good as they are on both sides of the ball, and they're still missing key pieces. Don't forget, people.
Dante Hightower, their captain on defense,
their best defensive player is gone all year. Your best defender. And then your most reliable receiver, Nettleman, has been gone the whole year too. So the fact that they're back in this position a year later, defending their championship crown, is a testament to the coaching, into the system, and to the players for being able to have that mental, stability and strength to get back here, which is, I think, the turning point. I don't think Philly, across the board, with their players, will be mentally tough enough to either keep a lead or take a lead if New England gets up.
Well, Alshon Jeffrey already thinks they won the game, so I mean, it's. I don't know why they're bothered to play.
Alshon Jeffrey stay high, so as Stephen A. Smith says, he can't keep off the weed. So I ain't worried about what Alshon Jeffrey has to say. You got a couple guys. You got some guys in the locker room like Chris Long going to be like, "Hey, guys, we got to keep it up," because he knows he's been in that locker room. Same with Blunt. Blunt is going to be like, "Hey, this is what we got to do to win." And I don't think everyone in that locker room is ready to actually completely understands that. They haven't been there. They haven't done it. And this coach, and also the coaching staff. So much of the NFL is coaching. And Doug Peterson's a good coach. He's got a good staff with Schwartz in them. I don't, especially Schwartz, because we're not fans of Schwartz. Me and
yeah.
Right. But he's not a good guy. He's a good coach. He's a good coach. Yeah. But he has been known to fold. And I don't know if he'll be able to keep that defense doing what it needs to do in such a high-pressure situation. He hasn't been the greatest high-pressure coach.
No, I mean, who has a great record against Bill Belichick? Just one guy, really.
That's Tom Coughlin.
Yeah. I mean,
and Tom Coughlin almost got him again this year. But honestly, if Tom Coughlin was the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
I know. I'd like to thank the referees for that one because, 5 penalties were
five penalties on them and 1 on New England. Yeah.
Okay, but okay.
I'm not saying.
Do you know all the penalties? Though? I know, but I'm just saying,
both teams are very low very low penalty wise. Very disciplined football team. So people are they're cheated. I didn't think anybody got cheated.
I think the refs let them play.
Yeah,
that's what you do in the playoffs. Let them play.
They're disciplined teams. They don't have flags on them a lot.
All their penalties were Jacksonville got one holding penalty. The guy dragged the guy down to the ground. That's obvious.
Yeah.
Pass interference, he shoved him out of bounds pretty much. So that's obvious. I mean, people want to say – I don't even know why people are arguing that one. Like, he literally pushed him out of bounds. The one to Gronk's head was clear and obvious. Like, what's the conspiracy on those ones?
Haters.
Exactly. I mean, I can see
haters see what they want to see. And if it's even the slightest hint of a controversy because it's around New England and because of their history, they're automatically going to cry foul.
Well, and now they're trying to change the catch rule because of New England and that Pittsburgh game. It's like, what? How are you going to change the rule? I don't understand. Like, I think the rule is perfectly adequate the way it is.
So, see, the rule needs to change, and I'll say this.
To what?
The rule needs to change, and they're going to change it because the Roonies are complaining. That's the only reason why they're changing it. But the rule needs to change. Because Lions fans, we have been getting screwed by that rule.
Oh, my God. For how many years?
After year by that stupid, idiotic rule. Because we knew what a catch was back in the day. Now we don't know what a catch is anymore. And that rule is so stupid. We have lost so many.
What was it, 2 years ago when we lost to Green Bay for that?
I think that was like 4 years ago.
We lost games 2-3 years in a row. We lost a game or two because of that rule.
But if you go down to the ground, I mean, you have to secure the ball. I just think.
Yeah, but when Calvin Johnson makes a catch, he goes down the ground and he lands on his butt. And he secured the ball. It's a touchdown. He goes to stand up and decides to use the ball to push himself up, and then it pops loose.
I agree with that one. That one, I never understood that one because it was clear that he was using the ball to get up. The one for Pittsburgh this year, the guy didn't have the ball. What was the other one? That Dez Bryant one in the playoffs.
The Green Bay one?
Yeah, what I never understood is, okay, so he juggled the ball, but I never saw it hit the ground. And I don't think he was out of bounds. Like, even if he didn't catch it there, I just never saw anywhere where that was in.
See, I thought the Dez Bryant was a catch only because I thought it was to me, in my eyes, it looked like a ground caused fumble, which is not a fumble. And it's a catch. He made the catch, the ball, he hit the ground, the ball pops out because he hits the ground. That's what I thought it was when I watched that play. But now we don't know what a catch is. And it's ridiculous. So the rule does need to change. But sadly, the reason why they're changing it is because the Roonies are complaining, and not because of the fans of all the other teams that have been screwed over by this idiotic, nonsensical rule.
I loved how so everyone was saying how the Patriots got all the calls by this year, and the one with the Jets and Safario Jenkins, where he lost the ball and then kind of gained possession, but when he landed, he was out of bounds. The same kind of thing happened to the Patriots against the Jaguars, where Dion Lewis fumbled the ball. But he kind of secured it on his hip, but we're not going to call that possession again. And then everyone's like, well, that's bullshit. Like, you can't have it both ways. If Jenkins didn't have possession on that one, then Lewis didn't have it on that one either. I mean, the Patriots are just a more disciplined team. That's why they get less penalties. It's not a conspiracy. They scout referees. Watch the Do Your Job documentary.
Yeah.
They got a holding penalty on Atlanta last year because they scouted the referee, Pittsburgh and Kansas City, and knew that the referee late in the game was going to call a holding penalty if they rushed from the outside because he wasn't afraid to make that call. It was the exact same play that Pittsburgh ran against Kansas City, and they knew the referee was going to call it, and they ran the play, and it worked. They do a better job of scouting than 95% of the teams in the NFL. And I don't know why other teams don't look at referees. You have to scout everything. Scout, the turf conditions, scout the referees, scout the players, scout the coaches, scout everything.
No, I agree. No arguments from me there. So what's your we know your pick. So do you have a score?
I just see, I see 13 to 20 points by the Patriots to win. And I don't like to say that because I don't I don't think the Patriots win Super Bowl is easy, but I just don't see how Philadelphia plays from behind in this game. I just don't think they're good enough to score points if the Patriots can get a lead and sit back on Foles. I think he played the greatest game of his life, and I don't see it happening twice. And I see all these passes on Foles on like ESPN and stuff like that. The guy just threw the ball up. He stands perfectly still, 2 defenders on him. He's not moving. For some reason, they just don't tackle him. The defender pretty much gives up on the play. It goes over his head, touchdown. Patriots aren't giving up on plays until that whistle blows. Not happening.
Well, yeah, the defense, the Vikings, I don't know what happened to them. I don't know if they were burnt out from that New Orleans game, but the whole team didn't show up that game. They didn't show. Offense, defensively, they didn't play.
So it's Case Keenum, for Christ's sake. I mean, they're acting like they beat Aaron Rodgers. Like, Minnesota didn't have their number one running back.
They overachieved all season. They really did. And they got hot, and their defense played really well, but they're not New England. And New England's not going to show up, and their defense isn't going to have that type of lack of effort.
Nope. I mean, no. I don't think they're going to shut him out, but I think it's going to be like, 30-16, 30-17, something like that. Hello?
Yeah, we're still here.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's 30. I'm sorry. So, 30-17. That's my pick.
30-17. Okay.
30-17 Pats. 13. I'll go on the low end of my 13-20.
Okay. UniqDNA, what's your score?
I'm going 7 points with the Pats. I don't know. Probably, something like that. 20-13. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game for sure. But
75% of the people are taking the Eagles.
I don't know why though.
No one likes the Patriots. Everyone wants to see them lose.
No, that's Vegas. That's a different reason. But I have New England winning. I'm thinking more of a 24. I'm thinking 4 points. I'm thinking 24-20, 28-24. I just don't see them winning by much because they never do. I mean, last year was their biggest margin of victory with that touchdown in overtime by 6 points. They win close games, and they're scarier when the game's close because, people tend to try harder when they're down more. They try to come back. But when you're in this tug of war type thing with the Patriots, you're trying to play chess with Bill Belichick. It's different then. And I really don't think that a game where the score is 13 points is going to have that type of trepidation for Philly as it would with a close game.
I'd enjoy the game a lot more if we're up by 2 touchdowns. And
I can start watching
I can start watching some commercials, man. Just give me that one time.
Recently, the WWE had its Royal Rumble, and we are almost a week away from this most recent Royal Rumble that featured the first ever 30-woman Royal Rumble, which headlined the event. So some really interesting times that are in the current state of the WWE. And, of course, the announcement previously that there will also be a first-time Elimination Chamber women's match as well. So to you, Repa, because you're also a WWE fan, what did you think? What of the pay-per-view overall, but specifically, what did you think of the Women's Rumble?
I enjoyed the Women's Rumble. It was the main event of the night. I thought it was the highlight of the night, honestly. What else do you do in a Rumble anymore? I mean, you can't really be surprised. I think their plan this year was to just have so many guys last a long time.
Long time.
Yeah, I mean,
like they had Balor in there for almost an hour.
Yeah.
And they had Sasha Banks in there for almost an hour.
I mean, Shinsuke went a long time too.
Yeah. Nakamura was in there for a hot minute too. He came in at
So-
what, 12 or something?
Yeah, he was early, and then he ends up winning. I mean, it wasn't a surprise who was going to win. I think that kind of – when you give a title shot, you take the fun out of the Rumble because you know who's going to win. I mean, Shinsuke was a 2-1 favorite to win the Rumble. You really didn't think anyone else
We
was
always
going to –
knew who was going to win, but it was still – I mean, we always knew that –
You didn't know that Vince McMahon was going to win.
Yeah, okay, that was the one surprise. Because, like, we knew HBK was winning, and when he was getting pushed, we knew Stone Cold was, we knew Rock was, we knew Batista or Cena or Orton were. Like, you knew who was going to win it. But there was still, like, enjoyable, there were still some spots like, oh, maybe not. Vince McMahon was the one surprise we've had since the Attitude Era as far as who won the Royal Rumble. It's always been a pretty predictable match.
I mean, it's just to me, it always seemed more fun. I like more, surprise guests, like when Kai and Ty kept coming out and getting eliminated. I thought that was
hilarious. that was funny.
Yeah, I mean, I love those spots, and it just didn't have it for me this year. There was some good wrestling, and I think that's the problem with the product nowadays. I think there's really good wrestling. It's just not really entertaining.
Well, the storytelling isn't the same anymore.
No.
They're not telling as compelling stories. You've got great athletes. You've got probably the most diverse mix of talent that the company's ever seen when it comes to in-ring ability. I mean, you look at in-ring ability and you compare them to the roster, and let's say the Attitude Era, which is our generation's probably favorite era. And in-ring ability-wise, this current crop is fantastic compared to them.
Except at main event level, I think.
Except at the main event level, right. Because even though Broken Down Austin was a fantastic wrestler, his matches kind of sucked because he was so broken, but they were able
He told a great story, and you were entertained.
He told a fantastic story, exactly. Even though I hate him, he told a great story. And him and Rock and Triple H, going back and forth was fantastic at the main event level. But just pure wrestling ability, there are so many. Apollo Crews, that dude can work. Swan, Alexander, there are some guys who can just flat out wrestle. They're just not telling the stories that we're accustomed to. We've got AJ Styles, you've got Nakamura. Orton can still do it, even people kind of get sick of him, but he can still get it done. Like there's Balor. There's so many talented people, and The Miz. Like I hate The Miz.
I love the
Ohio guys.
The Miz is one of the top guys right now.
Ohio guys, but the pop he got at Raw 25 after beating Roman, and I can't. I have to give it to him. Miz is, to me, the top dude right now. Maybe even over AJ. Like, Miz is getting it done. And the passion he has for wrestling is showing, like, so much more than anybody else's. Like, The Miz wants it. And see, guys like Cena and other guys that are winding down, they seem to not care. Miz cares. Like, I love him. The IC belt always been my favorite belt. The fact that he wants it to be a prestigious belt again and making it so. That's cool. And the talent that they've got on both rosters, between Sheamus and Cesaro and them, like it's insane the amount of talent. But they're not telling anything story-wise for most people that is interesting. My favorite angle right now is Matt Hardy, because Matt Hardy and Broken Matt Hardy is just freaking awesome.
They have a problem, I think, with the lack of storytelling, and their solution is to give us great matches. And that's fine, but I can't take 20-minute matches on Raw time after time. Like, when the Attitude Era was going on, you had, a 5-10 minute match that would get broken up by something related to the storyline. And they gave you just enough so you wanted to watch it when they finally got together at the pay-per-views. Who cares about pay-per-views anymore? You just see the match on Raw.
If you have a network, it doesn't matter, because you're not. Yeah. Because it used to be like, hey, when we were kids, like, hey, is it going to be worth the build-up? Is the build-up worth the money to pay to watch pay-per-view. It was a simple yes or no, and back then it was almost always a yes.
And the Dolph Ziggler storyline where he dropped the American U.S. title, whatever, that was a good storyline. Then he comes in the Royal Rumble 30. Why didn't he win the Royal Rumble? If he had a shot at the title after he just dropped the other title, the titles don't mean anything. Yeah.
They don't know how to use him. And they have regulated Dolph Ziggler into the good little worker, this low-level HBK type guy who can have a great match with anybody, but they don't respect him enough to give him a proper push. He had that one world title reign when he cashed in Money in the Bank, and he took it from Alberto Del Rio. Yeah. Which was great, and he was a heel then, and the crowd popped for him. Yeah, it was a freaking great moment.
He's a heel now, and the crowd popped for him.
Yeah, they just don't know how to use him, or just don't care enough to. I know Vince is big on pushing Roman, and because he likes big guys, he likes monsters, whatever. But you got to react to the crowd. The crowd has been loving this guy and wants to see this guy have a reasonable reign, but they won't give it to him. And I don't understand wrestling wise why. I don't know if they don't value him. Maybe he needs to do what Cody Rhodes does and is bounce and show his value in the Indies. Make some money and see, hey, now everybody wants Cody back. They're clamoring for Cody back, but Cody's like, screw y'all, I'm making money. More money than I did with Vince, in Ring of Honor in New Japan,
But, and what happened to Seth Rollins this year? I think he's had the worst year of anybody.
Seth keeps getting hurt.
I mean, he's not hurt right now. He still sucks.
All those back problems, man. He's having back problems. Seth he's starting to get hurt. And him and Ambrose, they can't keep them together because either Seth's hurt or Ambrose is hurt. It's these guys. People forget how long those guys have been around. Like they're not spring chickens. They're both, and they're all him and Roman. Roman's in his mid-30s. These are not young guys. They look it a little bit, but they're not young.
Well, I definitely don't see him the future of the company anymore. I mean, before
Rollins,
yeah. I mean, I thought before he got hurt that he was going to be a huge star. He was going to be
yeah. I thought so too.
He's not that anymore.
I don't think he had. I don't think he had the mic skills. I don't think he ever really got the push, the true push. I think the push he got was fans aren't reacting to Roman the way Vince wants them to. So let's see how let's see what they do with his friend, and then he gets hurt, and we never get to see it. It never came, it never culminated because he blew out the MCL and ACL or both or something like that, and the knee.
So who's the best mic guys right now in the WWE? You got Miz 1?
Miz
I think so. KO 2?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, KO 2. After that.
Yeah, I mean,
Matt Hardy's entertaining because Broken Matt's entertaining. But those
I wouldn't put him in the top.
Those are vignettes. They're more than promos. So, yeah.
I mean, I'm not huge on Bray Wyatt because I was never huge on The Undertaker either.
Yeah,
I don't like those.
I like the Bray Wyatt gimmick, and the fact that he hasn't been hotter and they haven't used him properly is ridiculous. This dude should have been the next Taker as far as creepiness, freaking people out, scaring people, and he should have had a longer title run than a month and a half that they had the belt on him. Like, and they're wasting a third generation star in him. They're wasting his brother. They're wasting, Mr. Perfect's son, having them, be the Miz Taraj. They're doing well with that, but they're not getting used. They're not having matches. They're getting paid to be his flunkies. And I
just thought of something actually, though. The only thing I did enjoy about the Men's Royal Rumble was when it got down to the last 6, and it was the 3-on-3, the old versus the new school. I liked it. That was a good moment. They set that up good.
Yeah, they did set that up really well. That was a cool moment too. I was hoping for the men's part of the Rumble that they would let some of these younger guys show out some of their talent more. Let Apollo do more. Let these guys really show what they can do. Yeah, they're not going to win, but let them show what they could do, but it was too repetitive before. Hey, Kofi got thrown out of the ring. What's he going to do to keep alive this time? Oh, we're going to have him step on some pancakes, and we're going to have the rest of
That was so stupid.
I was like, really? That's what they're going to do now? And then, come on. That just, as I would actually, I saw people online because I'm in a Facebook group, a wrestling Facebook group, and these guys were like pushing, clamoring, and talking about how much they hope Kofi would win, just because he steals the Rumble. He's stolen the Rumble so many years by having great performances in the Rumble and coming up with new insane ways to not be eliminated until this year when they used pancakes. But people,
why didn't they do this? Okay, so you can win the Rumble and challenge for any title that you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't he win the Rumble and want to challenge for the tag team titles?
Well, see, you know what? Honestly, I would love to see Kofi, because I think he's the best worker. Even though Big E looks like he could be world champ, I think Kofi puts on the best matches individually. I would love to see Kofi win and have the New Day do what they did, the Jersey Triad did back in WCW, and kind of championship, kind of what they're doing with Owens and Sammy against AJ, and just have them turn heel and go after a singles title and kind of try to share it.
They just sell too much merchandise. I mean, to turn them heel, that's the problem with the company nowadays.
Yeah, they do sell crap out of merchandise. It's insane.
It's in FYE.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's in
it's all over the
It's
place.
everywhere.
Yeah, so they run it by that, and same thing with John Cena. I mean, John Cena.
Oh God, don't even.
They kind of teased it a little bit. I think, like, why don't they just have him a heel, or he just wants to hold on to his legacy and he'll do whatever he needs to. He doesn't have to be a bad guy.
He would be a crappy heel anyway. It's not worth it. It's not. I've been saying for years he should turn heel. It's not worth it for him to turn heel. He'd suck at it.
Did anyone think that Hulk Hogan was going to be a good heel before it happened? John Cena can make it work if he wants to.
No, people forget that Hogan started as a heel. So the potential for Hogan to be a good heel was always there. We were just so used to seeing him as the ultimate good guy. But Hogan also does what's good for business a lot of the time, especially back then. You know, as he got older, he didn't, but he did what's good for business. I can't see John Cena doing what's good for business and turning heel, and I really honestly don't think he'd be good at it. I really don't. And if he had to try to be good at it, he would probably revert back to the stupid rap gimmick. That was the only way he could diss people, and that would just piss me and everybody else off because that gimmick was terrible to begin with.
So you know how you can tell how much influence Cena has in that company is that women's match. I mean, I thought for a second Nikki Bella might actually win.
Oh, God, no. Yeah, the fact that she was in the final two, the fact that Brie was in the final three, like...
Yeah, I mean...
it was a slap in the face, in my opinion, to the women who really have been putting on a great show. Like, the fact that the Bellas were at the end... just not just John, but also freaking Daniel Bryan. The fact that those two were at the end, just no. I would have rather had it been Sasha versus Asuka at the end, especially as long as she was already in the ring. It would have been a better finish, in my opinion, anyway. Than the Nikki knocking Brie off the apron and And everybody knows Nikki can't work with Asuka. She looked sloppy. You have freaking vets who haven't been in the ring for 10 years pulling off crisper moves than she was. Like she's just.
Did you want Rousey to be 30, or are you fine with her coming out after?
I'm actually not fine with her coming out after.
So you wanted her to be 30 or come out a different night?
Come out a different night. My two things I did not like about the Women's Rumble, I thought was the best match of the night, however. There were three things I didn't like. One was that they turned Naomi into Kofi. That was whack. Like, Naomi can stand out on her own. She's a good worker without having her copy Kofi Kingston. Like, that was just not needed. You already see it once a year. The Bellas going as far, that was pure politics, but that's unfortunately part of the wrestling business. And then third was Rousey coming out and spoiling Asuka's moment. Especially, now if you're going to have Ronda Rousey come out and spoil the moment, she needs to say something. Or somebody needs to say something.
She did say something. She pointed at the sign.
That's not saying a word. She didn't say a freaking word.
Oh, she said all that she needed to say.
She pointed for 5 minutes at the stupid WrestleMania sign, gave her goofy little smile, offered her weak hand, which I'm so glad Asuka slapped away, and that was it. Like now here's my thing. Okay, I know Ronda's been training for a year in Florida. If she's been training for pro wrestling for a year and she can't get on the mic at all, you're in trouble.
You're not in trouble, though, if you get the right manager.
Okay, I'll get to that. But right now, if you're going to have her come out of the Royal Rumble and make an appearance like that and she can't talk yet, you have a problem. Now, if you know she can't talk, somebody needs to. You know it's not going to be Asuka. So when Ronda comes out, Charlotte Flair or Alexa Bliss need to get on the mic and look at her and go, what are you doing here? Ronda doesn't have to say anything. Ronda can still do her pointing for 5 minutes. She can look at the girl. She can look at whoever's talking. She can make a come at me gesture. Hand gestures like eyes. I'll see you at WrestleMania. She doesn't have to talk, but somebody needs to say something. There was 5 minutes of 4 women standing in the ring, watching one idiot in a jacket too big for her, pointing at a sign.
It was Roddy Piper's jacket.
I know it was Piper's jacket, but the jacket was too big for her. And that's the other thing. I can't stand the fact that they're pretty much giving her Piper's name and gimmick. Like, really?
I mean, that's what she.
I know he was her favorite.
Piper. Yeah,
I know. That's endearing. It's cute. But they had the words Rowdy Ronda. Come on, really? Have some respect for Piper.
Maybe she liked more wrestlers and she can do the Eugene gimmick and then, next week or something.
Like,
that would cover the bad acting.
I guess, because, like, now, that was just stupid. And then go over shaking Stephanie's hand. It was 10 minutes of silence of her pointing and trying to shake hands. That was so stupid.
Well, and what does it accomplish? Who is she going after?
Exactly. It accomplishes nothing. But if you get Flair or Bliss on the mic and they confront her verbally and she looks at them and does gestures or looks back at them and points back at the sign, now you've got something to work with. Now you have inkling of maybe she wants to go after Charlotte. Maybe she wants to fight with Bliss. Maybe she doesn't know. We know that Asuka spurned her, so maybe she's going to wait to see what Asuka does. Now you have questions. Instead of, what the heck was that about? That's the only question we have now, is what the heck was that about? And why was that so stupid? That's what we're asking right now.
Why does she look tough 1 second and smiles the next?
Exactly.
You,
exactly. He's like, what are you trying to accomplish here? So, for a company that micromanages promos and everything, that was not managed properly at all. Like, it told nothing. It just leaves us wondering and scratching our heads like, what the heck did I just watch? Especially at the finish of such a great match. You finish
it would have been, what, if I'm writing that, it's better to do a pre-tape segment where, they walk out after a Rumble, she's attacked from behind, and then you see, like, some kind of evidence that's Ronda Rousey. She doesn't have to be there.
Right.
And it's like, what's going on? But, yeah, you can't have her come out and point to the sign for 5 minutes and,
And if she's not going to talk,
what are you doing?
Then you just if she's not going to talk, then you have Paul Heyman come out and talk for her.
There was excitement though because I watched it only because they popped because she came out. Because we're thinking, and here's the thing, and this is something I've observed about Ronda Rousey. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, I love Ronda Rousey, so I'm not trying to bash Ronda, but when Ronda was 31 when she got in the ring when Dwayne brought her in the ring and she hip tossed Triple H. Okay, she was cool there, but the reason why she was cool is the pressure was not on her. And The Rock talked for her.
She was cool because she was an extra. She wasn't the draw. She was the draw. She was the main pop there. And then she And she looked shook. She did not look comfortable. And then if you saw the interview afterwards, ESPN interviewed her, she was like half crying, half giddy laughing because like she couldn't control her emotions. Like she is not ready, dog. Like she's
a geek. I mean, so she geeks out for wrestling. She likes it.
Yo, okay. If you
or a Jeek, if you want to call her.
She's been training for a year.
She's a Jeek.
She's been training for a year. She should not be marking out like that.
No, but I'm saying at WrestleMania, she can mark out like that. Before.
Yeah, but that's 31. Fine. I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this. I'm talking about Royal Rumble. Post Royal Rumble interview with Shelly Ramona Shelburne or whatever her name is. She was half crying. Ronda was half crying, half giddy because of how excited she was to finally be in WWE. And everybody knows. And she was like, I'm just so overwhelmed. I can't describe it. Like, whoa, get yourself together. Like, you just pointed at the sign for WrestleMania, the biggest show of the freaking year, and this is your response? Like yo, you ain't ready.
Plus, I kind of wish I knew what her contract was too. I mean, how many matches is she gonna wrestle? How many shows? Is she on a Brock Lesnar deal? I mean, if she's on a Brock Lesnar deal, that's great.
She's probably on a Brock Lesnar.
I bet you. I don't even think she's on a Brock Lesnar deal. I think it's maybe 1 or 2 matches.
I don't know. I mean,
and what do you do with that?
I mean, ESPN reported that she signed a contract, but what's on it, I don't know. You know.
I mean, there's guys in the NBA that sign 10-day contracts. I mean, a contract doesn't mean the amount of time. I mean,
I don't know how many days. I don't know how many matches. I haven't heard anything either. Like it's been a well-kept secret on how many matches or how many days she's supposed to work. All I can say is I love Ronda. And I think potentially she could be fantastic because we know her judo skills will be great for mat wrestling. I don't know if she'll be able to sell a good strike, but they don't have to worry about getting hurt because we know her punches don't hurt. I mean, it's just not this. It's just a fact. It's just her punches don't hurt, clearly, because when she punches people...
Well, no one's punches hurt in wrestling. You got to use an open fist. I mean, come on.
I'm just saying, in the cage, her punches didn't hurt, except for Beth Correa. So, I mean... We don't have to worry about that, but can she throw a working punch? Like there's so much I don't, and the fact that you can't survive in wrestling if you don't talk. Like even though Brock has his advocate, there's times where Brock gets on the mic. Brock can tell a story with his body. I don't see Ronda even being close to WrestleMania. Now she debuted at a smaller pay-per-view as far as match-wise. If she came out in December and then came out for Elimination Chamber, something that's less pressure, okay. And then you build and maybe have her have a big match come SummerSlam time. But I think they're pushing her way too fast, angling it towards WrestleMania. Now I'm hearing rumors that she's supposed to tag with Rocky against Triple H and Stephanie. That's the rumor mill that I'm hearing. That would probably be the safest bet. But if that's the truth, then again, that whole thing where she walks out and points to WrestleMania in front of Asuka, Flair, and Bliss means absolutely nothing. So,
no.
So it's like, what the point was of that, it doesn't make any sense. And it left me scratching my head like, I watched a pretty good pay-per-view here, and now I don't understand what's going on. After I watched Molly Holly come out and hit a Molly go round after 15 years, and and Lita and Trish Stratus worked very well for someone who hasn't been in the ring in God knows how long, with some great young talent, and Sasha. I'm like, I've never been big on Sasha Banks, but she's earned my respect, and I think the Banks team is a freaking awesome move. I don't know about you, but
who would you miss from the Rumble? What stars would you have liked to seen
in the Women's Rumble?
Yeah,
Ivory.
Okay.
I thought it was a miss that Ivory wasn't there. I thought it was a miss that Victoria wasn't there. I definitely thought she deserved to be there. It would have been cool to see Jazz because Jazz was such a freaking beast, and Jazz was and especially since Beth Phoenix stole Jazz's finish, I don't like to see that. Two no nonsense chicks go at it. Other than that, I really didn't feel anybody was missing. I mean, I knew Vicky was
Stacey
in there.
Keibler?
See, Stacey wasn't a worker. I mean, she had a couple matches, but she wasn't a worker.
I know, but like she was big in that time. What about Sable?
Sable wasn't a worker either. She had some matches, but she was a valet. She wasn't a worker.
Mark Merrow.
The dumbest match ever, almost. Come on.
Potato sack match?
Oh, my God. No, cool. I loved Mark Merrow, and the fact they did him so dirty. They just another great talent they didn't know how to use. No,
I mean Brock Lesnar was there, so she was probably in the building.
I'm sure she was there, but I'm glad she did not come into the ring. That would not have been pretty. She was never great in the ring. She was never decent in the ring. So no, I was not.
No, but I mean, it's just fun to see those pops.
It was fun. I didn't even think about her when it came to that at all. I did think Victoria and Ivy would have been a great place, and obviously Vicky Guerrero was there because Ember. Because who got hurt? The black girl got hurt. One black girl got hurt. I forget her name all the time.
Jacqueline.
Not Jacqueline. No, the current performer who was supposed to be back with Goldust.
I don't know. I can't even watch. I mean, I fast forward.
It's crazy. There's so many sisters now that I can't keep track of them because Naomi was there, Ember Moon was there, Alicia Fox. No,
okay.
Yeah, Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox got hurt. She was supposed to be
the other
match.
Funkadactyl.
Yeah, she was supposed to be in the match, but she got hurt, so she couldn't participate. So Vicky Guerrero went in.
Why do they have other matches on the Rumble now? Like, so if you're gonna do a men's and a women's, and they last about an hour, and you have a 3-hour pay-per-view, get rid of the other matches. Do the men's or the women's first. Do a celebrity one, like an old school one in the middle, because everyone mark out for that.
That's too many Rumbles. An old school Rumble, that's too many.
Who doesn't love a Rumble?
Come on, David. Would you want to watch a pay-per-view that has?
Have you ever gone to a Comic-Con yet?
Of course.
Okay, so when you go to like the panels and stuff, have you seen like the Honky Tonk Man, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, shilling for autographs?
Yeah,
I would love to see those old out of shape guys try to get in the ring for another Rumble. That'd be hysterical. Give even 30-second entrances.
First of all, you're going to kill some of these guys having them go over the top rope.
Okay, do the middle ropes. That'd be the best part, watching them fall. Do it on the pre-show.
Okay, Repa, you have to realize something. All three of us are in our 30s. So the people we grew up watching are most of them in their 50s, 60s to 70s. They do not need to be going into the ring. Over the top.
You know what they do need, though? A paycheck. They'll do it.
Some of them need a paycheck, but they do not need to be doing any Rumble. Now, if you want to have a match, sure, I'll be glad to see. I'll even be good for like a fatal 4-way celebrity match, or even an 8-man tag celebrity match. Honestly, that's something you could do for Survivor Series. I would love to see a classic Survivor Series match if you did old school wrestlers. I think that would be fantastic. But I don't want to see a bunch of old dudes going over the top rope, breaking hips and stuff, and having the freaking ambulance come because, Foley took another bump or Ric Flair took another bump that made them, I don't want to.
What if we pad the outside of the ring really good?
Or are we going to do the
we'll do like the WCW where you have
pool?
It at the
have the pool.
Do the pool.
So when they
Laguna Beach,
they fall in the water.
Yeah.
I can't even see Vince greenlight. Now Vince has greenlit some stupid stuff, but I can't even. Nah.
Oh, I'd love it. Everyone would laugh their ass off.
I know you would love it, and what's sad is that it'll probably get the biggest pop of the night because everybody is still feeding. Like, come on, can you see Scott Hall trying to do that? The man barely got into the ring at Raw 25.
Well, I mean, Scott Hall wouldn't be in it, but
was Kevin Nash going to do it? Kevin Nash is. I love him. I love Nash. He's going to blow a quad walking to the ring.
Yeah, you want to, have a good time. Look up Kevin Nash shoot interviews on YouTube. And
I watch Kevin Nash shoot. They crack me up.
Buries everybody. Kevin Nash was the greatest wrestler alive ever. If you listen to Kevin Nash,
Oh, Kevin's my Detroit brother. He cracks me up. And then when I watch other shoot interviews where Doink the Clown is bashing him, and it's great. I love watching these shoot videos. They crack me up.
I mean, Kevin Nash was only good with the Wolfpack and the Outsiders. I mean, that was it. He as Diesel in the WWE, he wasn't a big star.
You didn't think Oz was a great gimmick?
Yeah,
or Vinny Vegas,
or whatever stripper he played in Magic Mike.
Yeah, which is pretty much Vinny Vegas in the movie.
Yeah. That role he had in
Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash was great.
No punishment. That's it.
Oh, Kevin Nash was great as Super Shredder, though. Don't knock him as Super Shredder. He was great.
Yeah.
And
he got buried by the boardwalk.
And he was okay in The Longest Yard remake. He was okay as a football player there. Him and Austin. That wasn't bad.
Nelly was the underrated MVP of that team, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, you mentioned Magic Mike. The thing is, women still love Kevin Nash. He's 55.
He's big, sexy.
He's big, sexy. They love him.
Yeah,
and and he will always have heat because of that. The ladies love Nash.
I can't find one.
But honestly, that would be great. I would love to, because obviously they will pull Scott even though he wouldn't get in the ring. Have a click, have Scott manage it, and have a click versus Horseman match or something. So have Shawn and Hunter and Nash.
Oh no, they couldn't do that.
Oh,
Arn Anderson. No. I think they still have heat on that interview that they did.
Okay, well then have Click versus have Click versus he'll have the Click versus Nation Domination, reunion match. So you've got Godfather and D-Lo and Ron Simmons and Rocky against the Click members with Nash, Triple H, Waltman, and HBK, and have Scott Hall manage them and have a Survivor Series match like that. I would pop for that. But I don't want to see any of those old men going over the top rope. I don't want to see that.
That's true, man. You're gonna have to disagree.
Come on, of all them, HBK and Triple H are the ones that can survive it.
I don't want those two guys. They're too young for me. I want like the Briscoe brothers in it and stuff.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jack Briscoe was what, 80?
Yeah.
Patterson's like 82, 83.
That's entertainment.
That's not entertainment. That's you're trying to book murder now.
Well, then we can segue into the XFL.
Okay. All right. Well, let's start talking about the XFL. So, if you don't know, Vince McMahon took $100 million of his own money, created a new company called Alpha Entertainment, and had a press conference, I think it was Tuesday, announcing his intention to relaunch the XFL. I watched the press conference live. I don't know if you two did. And they asked him a lot of questions, but mostly they were just trying to figure out if he would let Colin Kaepernick play and if he was going to make people stand for the national anthem. What I got from this and some of the notes I took were Vince McMahon was very clear that there will be no room for politics, that the rules will be clear on what's permitted and what's not permitted, which is a good thing because the NFL rules are not clear on a lot of things. He did say that people...
What's a catch?
There always a catch. Man, we don't know yet, but there's always a catch. It's Vince. He did mention that the anthem of the time honored tradition. So even though he did not say that people will stand for the anthem, he strongly alluded to it. He also advised that there is no TV partner yet. No cities have been set yet. They are looking at 8 teams, all owned by the league, so no franchises. They're looking for the game to be faster, and they're open to fan suggestions and expert suggestions. They want the game to be shorter, so instead of the 3-hour football game we get with the NFL, they're looking at around a 2-hour sweet spot for game length.
The Falcons would like that. They would have been Super Bowl champs last year.
So the Seahawks recently.
Yeah.
They are thinking about using social media for streaming options, trying to keep up with the wavy technology. So when it comes to personnel, one reporter asked if people like Tim Tebow or Colin Kaepernick or what's his name? I can't stand him. Texas A&M. What's his name?
Texas A&M. Oh, Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel would be welcome in the XFL. So to that, Vince responded, well, we want our players to have a certain level of behavior, so no criminality would be allowed. So if Tim Tebow wants to play, he's certainly welcome to play, but no criminality definitely eliminates some of them. So we know Johnny Manziel is not welcome in the XFL. Then one person specifically asked about Colin Kaepernick, which Vince responded, as long as Kaepernick follows the rules, we'd be glad to have them in the XFL. And he also clearly expressed that there will be no WWE crossover with the XFL like there was previously, which was also a part of the downfall, being that it was too gimmicky and too reliant on the WWE name pushing it out there. So with that, all right. So with all that, lay it on me. What are your thoughts on Vince's latest venture? Oh, also 2020 season, not rushing into the season like he did last time. So lay it on me. What do you think?
I give it 6 months.
Wow, 6 months?
Yeah, I don't even think I mean, I guess it's all going to depend on how they're going to stream it, right? The streaming deal and how much all that's going to cost, and advertisers and whatever. But I don't see them making much off of it. I mean, that's what happened last time, right? They couldn't get the ratings, and I mean, 2-hour games sounds good, but how are they going to pull that off? Who knows? I mean, obviously, besides what they mentioned about getting rid of halftime, but I mean, then you got to think about talent level, where these 8 teams going to be at. You know, I don't know. I think it failed for a reason the first time, and I don't think that the atmosphere is right for a second time right now. I don't know.
Okay. Repa, what you think?
I mean, can we just say that we want white people to watch this league only? And
yeah,
I mean, give me a break here.
Yeah, you talk about leaving politics out, but then
Okay.
I know my most exciting football thing is people not standing for the anthem.
Oh, wait. Okay. Let me respond to that. Okay. All right. So I would agree with you on that point if this was Vince's first foray into the XFL. I would 100% agree with you on that. This will be clearly, hey, let's get only the white people or just the conservatives or just the, this is particular niche. Just whoever is offended by dealing, come watch this football. That's what we would call it if this was the first foray.
But isn't that exactly what he did?
Yeah.
No. This is why. Okay. Here's the thing. This is not new for Vince, as we know. He tried before. Vince has been on the football team since the freaking the 80s. And he's been working diligently to make football happen for himself because he understands the money behind it. Remember, he tried to buy an NFL team before. They wouldn't let him make because they don't like him. And Vince wants what he wants. And Vince does what he does to get what he wants. So, this, honestly, I mean, the timing, yes, it seems suspect because of the politics behind it, but in Vince's mind, it's just timing. And Vince is about business, it's about opportunity. And Vince doesn't give a crap about the anthem or the politics behind it. Vince is about making money and getting what Vince wants. He's 73 years old. He knows he's got to turn over creative control eventually to Stephanie and Hunter and Shane of the WWE, which is why Shane's been back and running SmackDown. And he wants what he wants. He wants his toy. His big toy he's been pursuing for almost 30 years has been football. I think he loves football just a little bit more than his kids. Okay? The man loves football. So he sees an opportunity. He sees what he did before, which failed. That was 2001. The XFL came out.
Yeah,
I think it's 2000. Yeah,
it was like
2001, 2002. It was it was early into the millennium, and he knows he made mistakes, and he wants his toy.
Yeah, but I mean, you talk about making money. I don't see how you make money when you're excluding a large portion of the population by just even making that statement.
But he didn't make the statement. He asked. He was asked a question, and he answered it very politics-wise, very Vince McMahon-wise. But Vince isn't going to pull punches.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So either way, it was implied that it was about the national anthem and standing for the anthem.
Well, no, honestly, it wasn't at all. He didn't mention it at all.
You have to.
But he didn't mention it, and I think that was genius that he did not mention it. He simply said, we want things you and I have been saying, things we all been saying about football, more to fans, more fun, faster, more enjoyable. Those are all the things that Vince stressed in the press conference. The only people bringing up politics were the reporters who are there to report and try to keep headlines going. There's 4 things that I think the XFL, and I think I said this last year. The NFL needs competition, and Vince McMahon is one of the few.
For what?
The NFL, every monopoly needs competition. This is why we have monopoly laws. You need competition. The NFL needs competition. Why? This is called the No Fun League for a reason. Except for this past season, when they were more loose on the celebrations, there has been a lack of enjoyment, like you said, in a lot of ways, with football. The NFL has been ridiculous. You can't enjoy a game when you don't know what a catch is anymore. It's not the same product as it used to be.
I can see that point.
And things get stale in monopolies. Look at the WWE, where we just covered. WWE, part of the reason why it's stale is because there's no real competition. TNA is not competition. New Japan is not competition. Ring of Honor is not competition. Those are indies. Bigger, glorified indies. Japan, no, because Japan is not an indie to me, but Ring of Honor is an indie. It's just a big indie. TNA is a big indie, but they're still indies. And without real competition, things get stagnant. You don't try as hard. The XFL, now remember, before the XFL, the first time around, there was no locker room video access. There was no sideline reporting. Those are things Vince did.
No overhead cameras.
There was no sky cam. Vince did that. So some of the product that got better in the early 2000s was because the NFL took what Vince did better than them and made it better. They got better because they had competition. Spring football may never, ever be bigger than the NFL, and that's fine. As long as it's there, creating competition, the beauty of capitalism, I'm for it.
I just don't see it.
Players should be pushing for this. Because
crappy players.
No.
Right.
No. Big time players. Because if you remember, the USFL, I probably remember more because my uncle played in it, but the USFL in the 80s, spring football. Now, they drafted Herschel Walker, Steve Young, Jim Kelly, and they opted to play there. They play in the NFL. Why? Because the USFL offered them major dollars. It was an opportunity to have that they weren't going to have in the NFL. And because of the USFL, which folded after 3 seasons, the players get buku dollars now because of what Donald Trump and the owners of the USFL did. Because there was competition. The XFL can work, as in my opinion, because of 4 things. 1, the time. If they can find out the way to have a fun 2-hour game, that is going to be huge, especially if they do it in the springtime. Because no one wants less football.
I do.
Football. No,
I want an off season.
No, I've never. No.
I do.
I think
I can't watch football 24.
Part of the draw for NFL is the short season. I mean, all the other sports have long seasons. Hockey has long seasons. NBA got long seasons. I mean, baseball has long seasons.
God,
I can't watch baseball anymore. It's so long. If you're going to oversaturate football.
Yeah.
No, but you're not over. The oversaturation of football is because of the mashing of the NFL and the college season.
But I mean,
together.
we already have. We got college. We got Arena Football League. Like
Nobody's watching arena football.
Exactly. You think
So why are they going to watch XFL?
I'll tell you why. Because the arena football hasn't sniffed $100 million. It's already put $100 million into this.
Yeah, but it's all going to be wasted. I'm telling you.
I disagree.
He's going to blow it all.
I disagree.
He blew it all the last time. He's going to blow it all this time.
So one, the time factor is big, and spring football was fantastic. USL could have survived if Trump wouldn't have gotten greedy and decided to challenge the NFL head to head, because they were getting crazy games and people were watching and people were enjoying having spring football, despite the fact that there was still college and college was great in the 80s and they had the NFL and you had the good. This is the easy NFL. This is Joe Montana. This is the Niners, and they were winning, and everyone was watching. Everybody was in love with the NFL.
But it was different then.
But the USFL came out and had a great product, and people still watched.
There's also like 4 channels.
Right.
So if it's on TV, you're going to watch. 25% of your viewing
this is the
football, you're going to watch it.
We're talking about now.
Yeah, you're going to watch it, and then you're going to put it on the internet. Like,
4
channels?
channels?
I'm going to get distracted by what's on the internet.
Let's.
No.
In the 80s, you had what? 11 channels.
No,
right?
Don't even trip.
Come on.
Don't even trip.
No, honestly, how many channels you have?
Don't even trip. Don't even trip. You know MTV was like channel 35. And Nickelodeon was like channel 33. Don't even trip.
I didn't have cable in the 80s. I mean,
we didn't either.
Yeah, I had like ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox. I think I had like 2 Fox channels, maybe like a 13 and a 15. That was it.
PIX.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I had to watch blurry tennis matches because freaking Saturday morning cartoons were
so a lot of people had cable back in the 80s, okay?
Not as many as now, though. Nowhere near the amount.
Coked up stockbrokers,
Oh.
have cable back in the 80s.
Oh, my God. All right, okay, you're a little off on that. But,
I mean, come on.
So there was a lot more than 5 channels, okay? But also, we're talking
I want to say a lot more.
Okay.
I would say there's no, but fine. There was more than 5 channels, but there was way significantly less than there is now.
Yeah, but we're not counting
the entertainment
channels.
Possibilities now are endless.
But no one's watching 450 of those 500 channels.
Well, yeah, but exactly because they're watching Netflix and Hulu and YouTube and all this other stuff.
Or they're on Facebook.
Even Amazon Prime picked up the NFL just because to get more ratings, more streaming.
But if they're on Facebook and Vince is going to stream on Facebook, it will be there right in front of their faces to watch. You got idiots watching freaking LeVar Ball's kids stink up Lithuania, okay? People will watch.
But yeah.
I'm not. Who's watching?
People are watching, unfortunately.
How many people?
I don't see
people are watching. I haven't heard anyone like, oh my God, you cashed
Unfortunately, and some of the Facebook sports groups I'm in, people are sharing pictures and talking about how they watched LeVar Ball's kids. Too much. I keep blocking.
Okay, so that's hardcore. Okay, that's hardcore sports fans. Hardcore sports fans.
Dude, those
we're talking about the appeal of the NFL is that you get hardcore sports fans and you get the everyday American that just wants to watch a game on Sunday.
Right.
Sunday.
And the everyday American also been complaining for years that the game is too long. Now, and then also the everyday American, the casual fan.
I've never heard that a football game is too long. I've heard baseball.
I've heard baseball.
I've heard the end of basketball.
I hear all the time.
But I've never heard football.
Never heard.
Especially from women, all the time. Oh, I like it. It's just too long. All the time. From men, not as much. But I hear from women all the time.
Yeah, because women want to go out. But
that's because they're not interested anyway. If it was 30 minutes, they're not going to watch it.
That's not true at all. That's not
the game's perfect. Like you watch a game on the weekend.
No. Let me say it. I used to live in Pittsburgh. Steelers have the largest female fan base in all of sports
because they look like men.
That's beside the point. There are some attractive women. That's beside the point. Okay.
They're not watching Steelers football. Let me tell you that.
If you're a real
the Steelers, but the only complaint I hear is that the games last too long.
If you're a real sports fan,
when's the last time a woman complained that something
we're talking casual here.
Okay, but even if you're a casual fan, whether you're a man or a woman, You're going to say that it's too long because you're not interested. Even
the NFL, the people don't care. The NFL doesn't care about that. They care about.
That's what I'm saying. So you're not going to go to an alternative.
Yeah,
if you're not interested, if you're a casual fan, you're not going to follow an alternative because you're not even really that interested in the
casual fans are drawn to what is pushed is convenient that they can enjoy quick and easy.
No. Casual fans are there because of the brand. They're there for the name. That's what they're there for because it is the NFL. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, I'm in a fantasy football league.
Means nothing to them.
Yes, it does. It's all about branding.
No,
I'm in a fantasy football league with my wife's family.
Okay.
And none of them know football. Like, there's 10 people in the league. I think only 3 people really follow football. Everyone else just wants to play in a fantasy football league so they can watch football on Sundays.
Exactly.
I mean,
because there's a brand there.
It's the easiest league I've ever played in because after the 3rd round, they don't know who the hell anyone is.
Okay.
They're not like, oh my God, football is too long, or I wish they had this going on in spring. So, I mean, I might actually do worse in that fantasy football league because I wouldn't know anyone either. So,
but that's what I'm saying. If you're a casual fan, you're not like, oh my God, I want more football. You're like, this is good enough. Yeah. This is good enough. You're not screaming for more football in the spring.
I like the idea of changes, like, different camera technology maybe and stuff like that. But the only reason they can do that is because no one watches those games, so they can take chances. You can't take chances when you got like 5 million people, and if you show a camera angle that people don't like, they're going to change the channel. You can't lose. You can do that when only like 100,000 people are watching.
You can,
and that was the appeal of the XFL at the time. I mean, let's look at the fan base.
Here's another thing. Here's another thing that you haven't considered is that Vince talks about he wants to have a fresh look on football. Now, what's one thing that a lot of people are asking for, which are more casual generally, they talk about. They want to see more scoring. They want to see more points. They're not into defense. They want to see more. Some people they prefer college over the NFL because there's more variance. There's spread offenses. There's triple options.
You're never going to please people because as soon you're like people want more scoring, and then as soon as you get more scoring, they're like, I remember when we used to hit people and like send them to the hospital and stuff like that. It's not a defensive game anymore. Like people want what they don't have.
And again,
that's the thing. They're just going to complain.
And again, they have those options already.
No, they don't.
Yeah,
they do.
One NFL team. They got one NFL team running spread offense.
One NFL team running a spread offense.
Yeah,
I mean, because it doesn't work.
It does work. It works in college all the time.
Because the talent level is
go
so
watch
college.
What is the draw? Okay, what is the draw over? What is the draw?
You have amazing athletes in college who play quarterback, who can't play who aren't able to play in the NFL.
And guess where they
can't throw the
ball
because of the system. Because
the system's rigged in college because you don't have the same talent level on each side. So you have one team that's much faster. You spread them out and you use your speed. You have a linebacker that can run just as fast as a running back in the NFL. You can't run a spread offense. It just doesn't work.
I disagree. I think you can.
And I personally,
the problem with the NFL is that no one's willing to commit to it. People said the West Coast offense wasn't going to work. How's that going?
No one ever
what? Everybody runs a variation of West Coast offense right now. Every freaking body, and they said it was a hack idea that wasn't going to work.
And the Wildcat worked for 1 or 2 games versus the Patriots, and everyone tried it. And guess what? It didn't work.
No, the reason why
you can run in college.
The reason why the Wildcat doesn't work is because it's an offense. It's a system. When you put it in as a couple plays, it doesn't work after a while because then you can scout the plays. It's a complete system. You have to dedicate yourself to the system. As a Patriots fan should know better than that. Because
I don't think a spread offense works all the time because you can't block 4 guys at all times. Like you're going to get your quarterback killed eventually because a 300-pound 4.6 like 4.6
that quarterback is supposed to do 3 checkdowns and run.
Yeah, but
I mean, you have much better cornerbacks.
What is Lamar Jackson going to be in the NFL? He's going to turn him into a wide receiver.
No,
Because you know that man is not going to be a no pocket passer. You know it. They're going to turn him into
a pocket. You're not going to have all pure pocket passers.
They're going to turn him into Geno Smith.
No, they're not going to do. Like, the problem is when you see these quarterbacks in college, they're just running the ball. It's all gimmick. It's run to the sideline.
Lamar Jackson is a lot more than running the ball. He can.
I'm not saying that. Like, you got Watson. He runs and throws, but I'm just saying a majority of the people now they don't want pocket passers in the NFL. They don't want it in high school either.
No.
When you don't see passers in high school and college. It's the feeder system now. You know, these guys want to win, and they know that if they can find a top athlete that can run, it gives them a huge advantage over, you know, a lack of depth in college and, you know, high school. You have only 32 teams in the NFL. You have to get the best players. How many D1 colleges are there? I mean, there's fucking 50 bowl games, so
there's 8,000 D1 schools.
Yeah, I mean, there's just not enough talent to have 11 guys that are at the top of their game, and they play crap teams for the most part. I mean,
see, what I'm saying is, if you're talking about 11 guys, the people that fit within the mold of the current NFL, you're right. What I'm saying is a different style of football. They would be the best at. They would be better than,
and that's fine. Then they go to the Arena Football League and no one watches them. And then you know in 2020 they can go to the XFL and no one will watch them.
Nobody.
See, I think it's different. I think people will watch it.
I don't think
because the problem with Arena Football is that it's so much smaller. People they look at it, they don't recognize it because the field, the kicking is different. The size of the field is so small because you're inside a building, you're inside a basketball arena. It's completely different type of football. You're talking about 7-on-7 compared to 11-on-11.
Okay, so NFL Europe was the minor league of the NFL, and that didn't win. It had NFL players in it. It
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know why? Because there's no tie to the United States. If they had a junior league, if they had a D league like the NBA does, it's in the United States.
Nobody watches the D League either.
Yeah.
No, surprisingly, people.
Matt knows people on Facebook that are posting pictures. So people are watching.
There are people watching the D League,
but not enough.
No one that I know.
Nobody ever watches the D League.
People keep correcting me. It's the G League. People be watching the G League.
Okay.
Who are you watching it?
I would if I had League Pass, but I'm broke.
Exactly. Nobody's willing to pay for this.
People do. I got my homies tell me all the time. Yo, I saw so and so. I'm like, yo, who's he play for? Oh, I was watching the G League game. I'm like, I said,
was he paying for it? Or is he streaming it illegally on the internet?
No, they're paying for it. I'm like, wow, I didn't know people watch G League games. He was, yeah. I've been watching. I'm like, okay, cool. I didn't know.
Okay, I'll give you that. I admit I've watched the G League a few times.
Thank you.
But that was because I had nothing else to watch. And the minute I found something else to watch, I turned it off.
Yeah.
But you watched.
But I'm not. But what I'm saying is, I'm not committed to it. I wasn't committed to it.
But if the product,
that's what you need.
But if the product was what had its own, if there was a unique niche to the G League.
I think there is a unique niche. I think the problem is it's just too small.
It's not big enough. It's not. It doesn't have the draw. It doesn't have the allure.
There's nothing unique about the NBA.
The draw of the NBA, the draw of the NFL, MLB, all of that is that these are the best of the best. It's an elite league. You're not gonna get that in XFL or in.
No, I'm not saying that.
But that's what the draw is, right?
I'm not saying the XFL is going to.
Why? But that's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is the XFL needs to compete.
But they're not gonna. But that's what I'm saying. I give it a year. I give it a year at best.
You mentioned the G League. You mentioned the MLB. Okay, think about this. Think about the fact that minor league sports, especially like in baseball, exist and thrive for a reason because it's something you can go
gimmicks.
To. Not just gimmicks. It's something that you can go afford. You can go to, especially in today's climate. It's something you can afford. I'm not saying the XFL is going to be on the same level as the NFL. It can be this top dog or final top dog. I think it needs to become become a state spring football and be competitive, but be a family-friendly, affordable.
How do you be
option.
family-friendly and affordable, and you want to pay big salaries to get these people in there at the same time?
Exactly.
Like, you can't have both. You're going to have crap players. It's going to be a crap product, and families can go and little kids can watch incompletions all day long.
Exactly. If you're talking about competing, that means you got to make money, and they can't make money if they're having B and C caliber players.
See, there's a lot of
the reason why the minor league
a lot of B players that can, especially in football, there's a lot of B players that can put together a good product. And the XFL is
still not the A. They're still not the A league though.
No, I'm not saying they're going to be the A.
Yeah, but you're saying they have to compete with the NFL. The only way they would be able to do that is if they can draw away from the NFL the top players.
No, I'm saying they by being there, by being active, by bringing in talent, because there are some players, if they have a brand of football that's unique or fits their skill set, there are some players that would opt to play in the XFL rather than go to the NFL and have to change positions.
Players not under contract, because if you're under contract, even if you're making like 100,000,
I'm talking about coming out of college. People coming out of college.
Then you got to be again.
That would go.
If I got a choice between the NFL and the XFL, which I'm probably going to get at least a minimum 100,000 in the NFL. I mean, XFL got to come with big bucks for me to even consider playing in the XFL.
Okay, we're talking about Vincent Kennedy McMahon, one dude you should not bet against.
Except if he's doing a bodybuilding federation,
or
the original XFL.
Yeah,
you're saying it like he hasn't tried this before. That's what I don't understand.
No. He did try before,
and it failed,
and he made mistakes. Right, but a lot of good came out of it. And part of the problem was for the first
I understand that a lot of good came out of
it. They rushed the season the first time around. They didn't have. They didn't have training camp. They rushed into it. The product looked terrible for a while. But then after a while, when these guys started playing, they had practices, they started to get to know each other. The product was pretty good. And you had people from there end up playing the NFL, and people still talk about it.
Well, you just convinced me, man. I'm going to give up my spring weekends for pretty good football.
And all the problem the XFL had was the nights that they put football on. They put it on like Friday nights when you're going out.
Yeah, Saturday nights. Yeah,
Saturday nights instead of putting it on Wednesday. Where a day where you're obviously not going anywhere. That was another mistake that they made then. Vince is not one to repeat the same mistakes like that.
I'm not saying he's going to repeat the same mistakes. I just think he's going to repeat new ones. I think anytime you're trying to compete with. At this point, they are monopolies. NBA, NFL, all these major league teams, sports, you can't compete. You can't.
Well, I'm not saying take them down. I'm saying there needs to be leagues that challenge.
You can challenge, but that's going to cost you a lot of money.
Okay.
They need more money behind them. They have to get Netflix or somebody behind them. They're not going to get Amazon. They're not going to get.
I wouldn't doubt it.
They're definitely not getting Amazon because Amazon already has NFL.
Yeah, right. So they're not going to get.
I know they need more money, but the fact that he went out and threw $100 million into it shows.
$100 million is a drop in the bucket for NFL.
Yeah.
That's one team.
I know that.
That's not even one team.
What I'm saying is the money.
That's a couple players.
What I'm saying is the money he put up shows advertisers that he's.
But what did he do with it? Where'd that $100 million go for that press conference? That's an expensive press conference.
And see, I said he put it up into the company. He didn't spend it.
But what I'm saying is, if any advertisers looking at that, they're gonna be like, $100 million is a joke compared to the NFL. Come on, they make that in just advertising on Super Bowl Sunday
for like a
commercial break. 2 hours. Yeah, and it's $5 million for a 30-second commercial.
Yeah.
Come on, man! They make that just in a commercial break. $100 million is a joke. So that's big money for him because he's not a billionaire, but
he is a billionaire.
Okay, well,
not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah, he is.
Nah.
No.
Yeah, he's still over $1 billion.
Okay, even if he's probably on the cuff. It's a joke. $100 million is a joke to any big corporation. I mean, most corporations plan to lose $100 million in a year.
Yep.
I know my job when we do our quarterly earnings.
Oh yeah, well yours.
$100 million is a joke. We spend that on equipment. Like that's nothing.
Yeah, and I'm saying he needs to. He's not going to. He needs to be I think the SFL needs to become a spring AAA baseball level option.
And I think that's fine, and he's probably going to make a little money off of it. But I don't think that. I don't even think NFL is going to blink an eye towards it. Like you talk about competition. They might say they might bring some good ideas, like they did last time, and they might say, "Oh, that looks pretty cool. We could try that." But
and they'll steal it, and they won't make any money off of it. Yeah, exactly.
And then they'll make their own money off of it.
Then in 20 years they can have another documentary on XFL Part 2,
right?
And all these good changes came to the NFL because of it. And Vince McMahon failed once again.
Yeah, because I just don't like the way I see it. He's coming out to compete, and you come out to compete, they're gonna squash you. If he's just coming out to like, yeah, we're gonna be this minor league team, and we'll be like arena football, then and we'll take our little niche market and we'll make our little money off of it.
I think he'll be.
If he does that, then he'll survive a little while.
Arena football. Arena football. Whoever does their marketing has no brains because they don't market well. But Vince does not have that problem.
But I don't even think it's about marketing. I think it's really just about.
It's about a crap product.
It's a product.
Yeah.
No,
it's about a brand.
Trust me, because see, you also are thinking the way we think at our age. There are a lot of people right now who think Big Baller Brand is something cool and and are buying crap when it's a crap product. People, unfortunately, right now don't care.
But you got to understand that's a different market altogether.
I know
that's reality. That's the reality TV vlogger. This reality.
It's a different market.
Everything is about Facebook Live, Instagram Live.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, but the appeal to the baller brand is because they're a family and they're just these real life people. You're talking about that.
The appeal is that he's a maverick, and there's no bigger maverick than Vince McMahon.
Nah, I think
time
is up.
And also these younger people generally, they don't have the same loyalty and affinity that we do.
Nah, I don't think
their loyalty is up for sale. Trust me.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. It's up for sale to the reality, or distorted reality, whatever you want to call it, that the baller brand presents, that YouTube presents, that Facebook Live and Instagram Live and all that stuff presents. That's what they're up for sale with. That's where the money is. Now, if he's gonna do some kind of like Hard Knocks Part 2, then maybe that might be
Vince McMahon. He makes television
for every team every week. If you could just like follow their practices,
right? If you're just gonna follow these players around every week and see the real life, because that's what people are gonna care about. They care about.
I would watch that.
That'll be interesting.
And that's something he would do.
But nobody's gonna care about the game on Thursday,
but
or
only
whatever
if they're not criminals, because he doesn't want to follow a criminal.
No criminals.
No criminals.
You don't want their
right. And then
you don't want following some dude to his weed spot either.
No, but see, that's the thing, though. But that's what the appeal. But that's what the appeal of the baller brand is all about, right? This controversial dad and the kids are, and they're doing whatever, and they're creating this persona of them being bad boys and whatever, right? That's what the appeal is. When you look at reality TV, the reality TV is not clean cut American.
People.
The appeal of YouTube and everything else is that life is messy.
Well, people relate to him.
But nobody can relate to no politics and that's not real life. And we want these clean cut American football players. We want Johnny Football. Like, that's not real life. and nobody's gonna want to watch that. It's boring.
Wait, so you're saying that everybody's got to be a criminal to be entertaining?
I'm not saying they got to be a criminal. I'm not saying they have to be a criminal. But what I'm saying
I don't understand like how having no criminals.
But what I'm saying is, he said, no politics. They want they want good American citizens or something to that effect.
All he said was no politics. All he said was no criminality. That's all.
He said something about them being upstanding citizens. Or
So
something.
can they get players that stream stuff illegally on the internet? Like if they're sharing a Netflix account, is that a criminal offense? You can't get those people.
From what you alluded to, hey, did you get busted? If you can't be technically you're not a criminal if you don't get busted. So
all I'm saying is the appeal of this generation is this reality and life is messy and we want to see the real ins and outs of these guys. And I think if that's what they're gonna do, if that's what he's gonna do,
I bet you Vince would have a thing where you're required to give FaceTime for the camera. Like certain players, especially guys that have certain star power, would have put in their contracts that they have to vlog a certain amount of times or post to IG a certain amount of times. The way he micromanages,
It doesn't feel authentic then.
But then it's fake.
Come on, and you don't think Hard Knocks is authentic? You think Hard Knocks?
Oh no, I know Hard Knocks.
Come on, and
is
people clamor over that.
But you gotta. But that's the thing. Hard Knocks still has that real.
It also is the beginning of football season.
And it's also the beginning of the football season.
Yeah, I mean, you're like, oh my God, football's back! I can't wait for that first week. By week 3 or 4, I'm off of Hard Knocks. It's not as fun. But it's like football season's back. It's Hard Knocks. I can't wait to see whatever crap team is going to be overhyped this year.
Inside the NFL and everything else, it's the hype show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
why are they calling it XFL?
Vince is a hype show dude. I don't know. I thought he should change the name, but
I don't know.
Here's the thing. There's a small history there, and Vince is all about
very small.
Vince is always
6
about
months of
accumulating assets. The only reason why he bought ECW was to accumulate assets. Vince is about accumulating. So why would he not utilize what he previously had? And also because there's still recognition to the name. There's still brand recognition there.
Yeah, but it's not a good recognition.
I disagree.
Nobody thinks in the XFL like, oh, great, XFL is back. Everybody's like, oh yeah, it fell last time.
Well, no, but most people react. Most people react to the XFL. They say, "Oh, I remember that. It was either they're like, oh, I remember that. That was fun. It didn't work." Or if they liked it, or they'll chuckle if they didn't like it, like, it was like pro wrestling and meets football, and then they dismiss it. But
but that's what I'm saying. So if you're gonna bring it back, like there's not a good nobody's like, yes, XFL is back. Like I don't know too many people that are like that. At least from since the announcement, I haven't heard anybody say that. Everybody's like, what in the world is he doing?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard one person.
I haven't heard one person like, yeah, they're bringing it back. Like, I have not one person has.
I haven't even heard a city like, I hope we get an XFL team.
Yeah, they're more excited about Amazon coming to their.
Yeah,
it's tough to get excited when it's 2 years away, and there's very little to share.
I don't think that's true because I mean, look at the again, we use the Amazon thing. I mean, nobody even knows when that's supposed to be coming, and everybody's all super excited about that. And that's not even a sport; that's just jobs.
Well, that's business. That's business and politics combined. There,
this is business
and politics.
And politics.
Well, he said, no, there's no politics. No.
By saying no politics,
politics.
But again, he didn't volunteer that. That was from the reporter.
But yeah, he volunteered the fact that
I think he could be a lot more successful than you're giving credit for.
I give it a year.
I mean, they have to. They can't do subscription themselves. They need a Netflix. They need
a Netflix.
Someone behind money. I mean,
yeah.
Facebook.
No, I'm not disagreeing that. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. But I think he will go for places where the NFL has not yet, and I wouldn't. I wouldn't bet against Vince McMahon. All right,
I haven't seen, with the exception of wrestling, I can't say that he's like this super, Warren Buffett business guru.
I know their movies are awesome, aren't they? and whatever happened to their record label?
Yeah. So I mean, it's not like
Rascat.
It's one thing if you say like don't bet against. It's one thing to say don't bet against Warren Buffett. Then I'll be like, all right, yeah, I agree. But it's not like he's had like success after success after success. He's had more failures, I think, than successes.
Well, so did Milton Hershey, but he can't end up hitting it big. You're gonna fail.
And Vince McMahon had his one hit big too, and that's
wrestling.
Wrestling.
I mean, maybe Marine 6 will be an awesome movie, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I think they're filming that too.
I wouldn't be
but not that
surprised.
serious. I think they're filming that. To a more serious note, my mother's alma mater, Michigan State, has been in the news, unfortunately, for very ugly reasons. If you're not aware, Larry Nassar, a doctor who worked with Team USA Gymnastics, has been tried and found guilty of abusing young women, not just on the United States gymnastics team, but serving as a medical professional for the Michigan State University Hospital. The father of one of the victims even asked the judge if he could get 5 minutes alone in a locked room with the man. And he even asked if down to 1 minute, and then attempted to attack the man in the courtroom, which is just a very sad, very ugly situation that the university did not handle well. And then additionally to that, we have reports that the NCAA has known of over 30 incidents involving sexual misconduct amongst Michigan State athletes that were not handled properly or reported to the authorities, involving several football players, allegedly basketball players as well, and some from other sports. So my first question to you two is, comparing this to, because we're in this area, and Repa, you're from the area, comparing this to the Penn State scandal, where do you see this hot mess that's happening in East Lansing?
I mean, they're just both terrible. Raping little boys in showers and raping, female gymnasts and stuff. You're not gonna say one's worse than the other. This shouldn't happen at any level. I think it's terrible what they allowed to happen. I think it's very hard for a young girl to come forward, especially an athlete who thinks that she might lose her chance at competing if she says anything. And people like that are sick, and they know that, and they school those people on that behavior. It's not like day one they're going in there and touching them. They make sure that this person's not going to talk, or this person feels intimidated. These people should go away for a long time, and anyone that knew about these allegations should be immediately fired and face criminal charges too. You cannot take a molestation charge lightly. I don't know why they thought in the past that they could just brush it under a rug and it's acceptable, but anyone that knew about it should be gone, and they should, face court and probably at least, I would say, 10 to 15 years in prison for about, that seems fair to me. I don't think they need to go for life, but 10 to 15 years is a good penalty for ignoring this and allowing it to happen for so long.
Okay, I respect that.
Yeah,
give me your take.
I agree. I can't compare one to the other. They're both bad. They're both terrible. I'm shocked. I think I was more shocked at how long it was going on for. I think it's at what 30 years or so.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
30 years.
For
NASA.
Yeah, and
part 30 years.
Yeah, and they think it may even go back further than that. I just can't believe that people have known for all that time. You know, I'm sure people around him, or I can't think that in over 30 years that no one has never talked. I'm sure somebody talked, whether they're believed or not, is another issue.
Well, people clearly talked because the NCAA knew about
So obviously,
on the university side, and then the gymnasts mentioned that they had mentioned this as well. It was really sad, super sad to me on just dividing these two things separately, from Nassar to the sexual misconduct from the student athlete side, is that the only reason why this happened, as far as him being brought to justice, is because our Olympians mentioned it.
Yeah.
If they hadn't said anything, this guy would still be, sexually abusing young girls.
And that's the part I find ridiculous.
Yes, that's the most egregious part, is that it took our Olympians saying something because they have a larger voice that something was actually done about this.
And that's and that's why when I say I can't believe that people nobody's ever talked, which means that I'm obviously people have talked and nobody's done anything about it, and that is just like I can't even comprehend that. Like, how do you not do anything about it?
And the president of the school
being the president,
female,
right?
Who did absolutely nothing.
And then even from the NCAA side, like, you are the governing authority, in this situation, and and you haven't done anything until.
Well, they stopped football players from making money, so they were probably busy with doing that. And, finding all those schools. Yeah. But when it comes to a real issue,
think about this.
They turn a blind eye.
Well, think about this. 2 or 3 seasons ago, Michigan State was in the college football playoffs, right?
Right.
Okay, well, they knew about these things since 2010.
Right.
So what is the NCAA doing sitting on their hands if they have this information?
Well, I think to Brad's point, they were too busy worried about, they were too busy worried about your boy and his recruiting tactics and all the other nonsense that was going on.
Oh, because Harbaugh is climbing trees? Keep climbing trees, Jim. Keep climbing them trees. Get some recruits.
Let's look back to even back then, that's the stuff that they were focused on.
Let's not have Michigan go down to Florida, have training camps so they can recruit illegally. But,
right.
We're not going to investigate these claims. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's because Saban had to complain. He's a little girl.
Well, it hurt their brand. They don't want it out in the news. They want to try to hush it, and they've done it for years. I mean, 30 years of allegations going on. Like, they've been able to get away with it. Why would they think this is the year that they'd get caught?
Yeah, that's true too.
So how much culpability should be on the NCAA for not doing anything?
I think 100%. Yeah. If they knew, how do you – I mean, I don't think you would get a pass for any of this. No, or however long you don't get a pass. The minute somebody tells you – I mean, by law, teachers by law have to state any even signs of abuse. So why aren't they held to the same standards? Because they're the NCAA.
Yeah, what about assistant trainers that all of a sudden I'm going to go in the back room and close. They're like, that's not how you do it normally.
Right.
I mean, people in there had to know. And I'm sure there's whispers.
Yeah, and let's even go back further and let's even look at the fact that the only reason why this really even came out prior to the Olympian speaking out was because a reporter was doing a report on how the coaches are abusing these girls mentally, because they got to win and they got to win and they got to win. And then somebody came out and said, no, actually, it's not the coaches that you got to worry about. It's the doctors. And then that starts the investigation that leads to all this. So, I mean, if that woman never came forward to do that report in the first place, this still would be going on, you know. So I don't know. I just find it like,
and that's why you need real newspapers and not like sites like Bleacher Report and stuff,
right?
So you can break these stories.
Yeah,
it's just terrible. There's nothing else you can really say on it.
Yeah, my concern is just, as a parent, especially with 4 girls, what are you going to do then? Like, you can't obviously be with them 24/7. So if we can't even trust them to be protected by, adults who are supposed to be caring for students and student athletes when they go to the collegiate level, what do you like? How do you keep these people accountable and hold them culpable? Like you said earlier, as far as the school people, anyone who should be 10, 15 years. I'm totally all for that. But the NCAA, if they know, then they're going to look to hand out some punishment. Michigan State. Everyone's talking about the death penalty for the athletic program and this and that. But if the NCAA knew for 8 years, then who are they to give punishment out to anybody? Like, this should be strictly a legal thing, and taking away wins and talking about athletic programs shouldn't even be part of the conversation.
That's the thing I hate about college. Like, in the grand scheme of things, with a crime like this, what does taking away wins really do? That doesn't heal anybody. Giving them the death penalty, it doesn't heal anyone. It hurts student athletes. I mean,
it just hurts.
You fine them money. You fine them a lot of money, and I mean, you almost break up the institute. Like, forget the death penalty for the sports. You almost sue the school out of existence. Right. Which, again,
or you take
that hurt the residents of the state. I mean, there's.
But really I wouldn't even say it's attack the school. You attack the leaders of the school.
Yeah.
You break up the leaders. You get rid of them. Right. You cut off the head. Obviously, they were in charge, and it happened on their watch, and they knew about it. You're out of here. You don't get a second chance. We find somebody else who's going to do the right thing.
And they almost kept the president in because she was a good fundraiser. I mean, are you ridiculous?
That was the board's reasoning, yeah.
And that's the thing. Like
but the thing is, legally, how you can't push the board out, and so the board would just hire another sleazebag who's going to do the same thing and hope that they don't get caught.
Well, that's the thing. So you go. I don't think you find the school. Because, again, it hurts the students, it hurts the state. But you go after the individuals. You go after the board individually. You go after the president individually. You go after the people that.
So on a legal standpoint, you're saying you criminally, or at least on a civil level, you go after those who should have been protecting these people.
Exactly.
Yeah,
if you're gonna find somebody, find the president. 100,
and the NCAA
100,000, 100 million.
Should mind their own business.
And I guarantee if you remove a school president and a board, the next time it happens at a school, if someone finds out, they're going to report it right away. They're not going to lose their job over it.
Right.
But if you find the school some money or, miss some bowl games or something like that.
Then guess what? All the school's going to do is raise tuition.
Exactly.
It's the state schools, like you said earlier, taxes.
Yeah. Or taxes, yeah. So, I mean, they'll find the money. But you need to go after the individuals, because then the air responsibility is on the individual. Because then, like you said, then it's like, oh, you know what? My job is on the line if I don't report this. My job is on the line if I don't fire this guy. My livelihood is on the line because I'll be the one fined individually, not the state. Not
yeah. I mean, what's the point of hurting some stupid diver or swimmer, some of these stupid sports that, I mean, not stupid sports, they're all important sports, but I mean, they're not making money. Right. And you can't have them compete in their national championship because something that they had nothing to do with. They didn't know what was going on. It's not
the field hockey team has this soccer
exactly.
team, which is, why should they suffer because of what the football team did or some basketball players?
It wasn't even what the football team did. I mean, they didn't really.
Well, the Nassar, no, but to me, Nassar has nothing to do with the athletic program. But the fact that the NCAA has had all these reports of unhandled sexual assault from football players primarily, and some other athletes, that also is part of the problem. So, like, do you find how do you hurt the swimming team for what football players did? That's not right, because if you fine the school this money, then you're hurting the entire athletic department. You're not just hurting the football team. You're messing with people who, the track team. Come on, what they don't do anything? They run.
And in a way, you're kind of creating you're fostering that culture of let's keep it all a secret, because now, guess what? If it happens again in another school, oh, you know what? We need to keep this hush hush, because otherwise the whole athletic program is going to shut down.
Yep.
Right.
So even if I'm not on the basketball team, I'm on the tennis team, but you know what? Let me shut up, because I might lose my scholarship because these idiots going to want to go do whatever they want to do. So I'm just going to shut up, right? But if you go after the individuals, then there's a little bit of onus there for me to step up and say something, because I know that I'm not gonna suffer for your actions.
Exactly.
I agree.
Yeah. It's a difficult situation all around. And my hope, my prayer is that we actually get a viable resolution to prevent this from happening to other children there, because it's a shame, and not just the children, but also the female students or student athletes that their voices have been ignored for at least we know since 2010 when it comes to inappropriate sexual misconduct. Apparently, like they say that Coach D'Antonio took one player that what he had to do was call his mom and tell his mom what he did was how he handled one instance of sexual assault or sexual misconduct from one of his players. Like, no, that's how you handle it. If a first grader decides to play, I'll show you yours if you show me mine. You show me mine, you show yours. That's how you handle that. You call the parents and say, tell your mom what you did. No, these are grown men. These are 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old men. They need to be treated as such.
Well, hey, at least we know they can still play in the XFL.
Yeah,
they can't. It's criminality.
But they haven't been charged.
They can play
he only had to call his mom.
They haven't been charged. He had to call his mom.
Well, that one, yeah. Obviously, that's not going to last, because there's some criminality there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to make light of the situation, but
the NFL will give them 10,000 chances.
In all seriousness,
they let you beat women and come back.
Well, yeah.
Great.
But I think in all seriousness, I don't think you can prevent it. I think you put things in place to, do your best to prevent it. Kind of like what Brad was saying earlier. Like, you just have to have people that hold people accountable. If this guy's like, hey, let's go in the back room, me and her, I want to give her a special examination. Well, that's a little off if that's not the way things are normally done. And if that's the way things are normally done, maybe.
I mean, I understand there's a private exam. Like, she's a woman, you can't have her out in public. But I mean,
right? But then somebody should still be in the room.
Yeah.
And, you should have a second, person, assistant examiner or something in there. Just for instances like this where, you hope that assistant is going to, be. Well,
if we're talking about doctors and children, the parents should be there. Like, there shouldn't be, or if we're talking about, gymnasts, the coach should be there. There should be no doctor. I don't care if a doctor is male or female. There should be no, a person can be in the room without seeing. You can be in a room with your wife giving birth, but you're not watching the actual kid come out. You're holding the hand, you're behind, you're not in visual range. You can be in a room and the girl can still have some privacy while she's getting, an exam or whatever, and to make sure that there's nothing wrong going on. Like, that's not a hard concept.
No, it's not. So that's why I don't understand why it's been allowed to happen.
Yeah, Michigan State, you failed miserably. You need to be humble right now. You made this Michigan native sad. And it's so sad that I don't even want to call my poor mother or sister or other friends and family who are state alums, because it's just ridiculous that we have to have this conversation. You dropped the ball. And any other university out there that may be doing the same thing, clean it up now. Whatever you're doing, stop it. If something happens, do the right thing. Stop hiding crime in the name of the almighty dollar, because it's not worth it. All right. Before we get to the last topic, I want to throw this real quick thing out there. So Black Panther comes out February 16th. And apparently a group, of course, on the almighty Facebook had made their intentions known that they intend to rig the Rotten Tomatoes reviews for Black Panther to be negative.
Donald Trump.
I don't think. Was
it the guys with the tiki torches again?
I think there's still the big lots trying to get more.
Oh man!
Why do people waste their time and energy? Like, what's to do for them?
I don't know if people feel threatened because of how many tickets have been pre-sold. Now, granted, this same group has apparently tried to torpedo other films as well that were not,
The Butler.
We're not black.
Selma.
We're not black films.
Which one?
Hidden Figures.
I forget. When I read the article, I disregarded the names when I saw that they weren't black movies. So I was like, okay, well, they're doing this, not just black movies.
So this whole Rotten Tomatoes thing in general, I think, is nonsense.
Well, it's Rotten Tomatoes.
I disagree with that because it does, determine how much a movie makes.
Yeah,
people look at those reviews.
Oh, but people know Rotten Tomatoes is fan driven. So Rotten Tomatoes had a great score for I think it was Batman versus Superman, and the movie's trash. Or
who gave that? That was the worst movie I've seen all year.
Some people like the movie. Some idiots, or
why? What did you like about it? Really bad special effects?
Or again, they're just not real fans. I don't know.
And characters.
But it was positive.
But I think that's the thing with this whole with Rotten Tomatoes, even Metacritic and some of the other ones. I think that everybody knows that. At this point, the reviews can't be trusted, good or bad.
You can't trust them.
Because you had movies that get great reviews and they're terrible, and you have movies that have terrible reviews and they were great. So I don't think it's really going to hurt, Black Panther in any way. I think the hype is already there. Marvel has an amazing track record with all their movies, or at least a good majority of them.
Well, they haven't put out a bad one. They're not all great, but they haven't put out a bad one.
That's what I'm saying. So,
Iron Man 2?
Iron Man 2 was
it wasn't great, but I'm not going to call it bad either.
So, I don't think I don't see them doing much damage. I mean, good luck with, trying to tank the reviews.
It's going to make its money.
Yeah, it's gonna make money.
It's already made a ton of money. It hasn't even come out yet.
And I don't really see. He's just wasting your time and effort. Go try out for the XFL or something.
I don't know.
They can give positive reviews on Tomatoes on the XFL.
Yeah.
Try to help that out.
They're gonna go boost those ratings.
I really liked when they stood for the national anthem. That's good football.
The two of you gonna be in line to get your jerseys with the nickname back on them.
Oh yeah,
I got too many jerseys.
I think I still got my "He Hate Me" jersey.
He Hate Me. Ross Marco come back with his "He Hate Me." That's right.
I had a Las Vegas Demons hat, I think.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I might have had a Hitman hat too, but.
Yeah, but I remember you said something about that. It was too much like Bret Hart. You didn't want to wear it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's no one's gonna get an XFL jersey again, except Steve Austin. He'll wear his free ones all the time.
Oh, he won't. Yeah. I mean, the man changed his name from Williams to Austin.
Yeah, I still got my New Jersey Hitman jersey.
Oh, see, there you go.
But that was because it was Jersey. That was like the only, besides the Nets, that was like in the New Jersey Devils. That was like the only team we had.
Only team that was willing to claim you.
Yeah.
The Jets and Giants.
Yeah, but they're not. They don't rep Jersey.
They don't rep Jersey. Because even though they play them, they don't rep Jersey.
Yeah, so
heck, when Vince has events there, he says it's New York.
Yeah.
So I mean,
but at least
but now they just go to Brooklyn.
Yeah,
right.
Barclays Center.
But you've got. Hey, speaking of location, the Overwatch League has a New York team. I wonder if they actually play in Jersey.
Oh, okay. So I got a little Overwatch.
You're gonna make me Google that now.
Yeah, where the New York Excelsior actually do their gaming? Is it in New York or is it in Jersey?
Well, Patriot owner Robert Kraft owns an Overwatch team.
Yes, he does. He owns the Boston Uprising.
So I'm at the Patriot Hall of Fame the other week, and they have a pro shop there. You can get, all these jerseys and stuff, and they have an Overwatch League hat and shirt. And I'm like, I'm not going to buy that piece of crap. Because no one would know what the hell it is except for like a 12 or 13-year-old.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
I'm not. No,
they'd have to be a gamer to know who it is.
I got problems with the Overwatch League.
Okay, speak on it.
Okay, esports is fine. Number one, let's not call it a sport. I mean, we're not like, hey, we're gonna play the sport of chess. It's a game. Chess.
Okay,
yeah.
You said chess, but okay.
Chess, whatever. I mean, you can play with my chest if you want. It's sexy. It's fine. But no one's playing the sport of chess. I mean, it's a game. Poker is a game. It's a strategic game.
But it's on ESPN.
It's not a sport. Yeah, but it's not a sport. I mean,
I'm not.
There's no sports on ESPN.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying it's on ESPN.
Yeah, that's fine. And
so are a lot of other games.
Yeah, they used to have bull riding.
They used to have.
Okay. That takes a certain.
I 100% agree. It's a sport. I mean, I'm not saying that, but poker, chess, whatever you want. I mean,
the spelling bee.
I know. The spelling bee. That's not a sport.
No, I agree. That's definitely not sport.
Now, here's my thing. I mean, if I'm ESPN and I'm losing subscriptions every year, I'm paying a lot of money to get esports on my channel because they might not watch the channel, but they'll, subscribe and watch it online, and I can keep some of those younger demographics that aren't watching football or baseball.
Well, they've had esports on ESPN for years. They've had StarCraft League on there.
I guess I have seen it once in a while.
Yeah, StarCraft is not big here, as it is, overseas, Korea. But
but this leads to my second point.
Okay.
Are esports really good for video games? Because it's big right now, and there's money being made. So you have all these, billion-dollar owners trying to get on a team. But what does it do to the future of video games where you have an Overwatch League? Like, they just play that game.
Yeah.
So where do video games, develop in the future then? If people are only playing one sport instead of like, hey, remember the movie The Wizard? With Fred Savage?
Yeah.
Like, play different games and stuff like that. Let's see who's the best, like, overall video game player.
Okay, well, now Nintendo did bring back that competition over the Nintendo World Championships. They did bring that back, that tournament. But so that is a form of esport that is different from, Overwatch League, that's different from, what they say they're going to do it with Destiny, but who knows?
Madden tournaments.
You got guys who do nothing but play Madden. All they do is play Madden.
I get it, and also you have a new game every year.
The NBA 2K league, that they're doing. You have to have at least 50 wins in Pro-Am to even be considered for a spot.
But doesn't it saturate the market when you have just so many different games and leagues? Like, who's going to watch it all? Like, you're going to have just well, I like to watch the Overwatch one, or I like to watch the sports ones, or the Counter-Strike. Like,
oh yeah, people are still watching people play Counter-Strike, and Counter-Strike is God knows how old.
It's like 15 years easily.
Something like that.
Yeah, maybe
You
older than
got-
that.
Yeah, I think it's older than that.
Yeah, and you still got pro Counter-Strike tournaments all the time.
I mean, I think
League of Legends.
Yeah, League of Legends.
And now you
That's
have
huge.
the Player Unknown Battleground leagues.
Yep.
PUBG.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man, those are actually pretty funny to watch though.
Yeah.
They're pretty entertaining. But I mean, I see what you're saying. I think it kind of it does drive some innovation though, because I mean, like the developers at least are like, okay, these guys are really good at this game. How do we make it harder? How do we make it more competitive? How do we make it more fun and entertaining to watch, even if you're not playing? And so I think it drives innovation that way. Where video games before were just kind of like, how creative can we get? All the games now coming out, Destiny and all these different games are just kind of like, how creative can we get? How, but they're kind of rehashing the same story. So this kind of creates a new, spin on video games. It's like, all right, well, we can create games for competition that can drive, sales, obviously, because everybody wants to be the best Madden player. Everybody wants to be the best Overwatch player, the best Counter-Strike player. Well, Counter-Strike is a bad one because they haven't remade that in years.
Forever.
But
I bought Counter-Strike and I only played. I mean, not Counter-Strike. I bought Overwatch and only played it one time. I didn't understand it.
Oh,
It's
a shooter. I mean,
yeah.
Well,
but I mean, there's leagues for everything now. You got
Sure.
Call of Duty leagues. You got. I think there's a league for. I mean, you look at Twitch, right? Like, if you go on Twitch, there's a streaming channel for every single game.
Yeah.
I was watching a Twitch stream for Sid Meier's Civilization. And I was like, oh, why am I watching this? But for some reason, I couldn't stop watching it. But
hey, I was watching. I was on Twitch. I was watching some guys play some classic games. When I stream, I'm always playing classic NES. I was watching Ivy Doom Kitty the other night play Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah,
people playing anything. Sometimes
and those guys make big money. I mean, you watch those chats and they're getting,
guys going for speed runs and I know people that they watch Twitch more than they watch TV,
and their subscribers are paying them, monthly or whatever it is, $3 a month or whatever. I mean, I think there's money to be made there, and I think it's definitely expanding the reach of video games.
I don't see it hurting either. Like if there was a game that you're really good at, let's say
NBA Jam.
Yeah. I mean, NBA Jam. Let's say WWE. Let's say there was a WWE league where you create a wrestler and you're really good and you have a chance to compete in tournaments, to win championships. And they say to you, we were making this league, and you do what you could. You participate. You sign a 2-year contract. You make $2,000 a year with benefits. I mean, who's saying no to that?
Why not? I mean, I don't think it's any different from us standing at the arcade playing Tekken or Street Fighter, or, back-to-back tournament, creating our own tournaments,
Yeah.
Except for they're getting paid a whole lot more than we used to.
$50 a year that's what they're getting Overwatch.
Yeah, that's a full-time job.
A full-time job, and they're getting benefits, 401k, the whole nine.
Yeah. So I think it's only going to be good for the community.
Are you going to be watching people wear jerseys in the future, though? Is it going to get that big?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, you watch some of the events. People are wearing the T-shirts. They're wearing jerseys.
Yeah, I mean, I was.
You got guys with household names.
Yeah, I was actually ordering my glasses for this year, and they had a bunch of like a MLG, a bunch of different teams from the MLG league that you can get like on the side of your glasses. like instead of Ray-Ban or whatever, it says, it's got your favorite team on the side. So I think it's there, and I think this generation is the generation to do it because we started it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I don't understand this generation. Like, I use Twitch to like get video game reviews pretty much. Like, I watch someone playing it, like it looks pretty cool, I'll get it. I can't imagine watching that only for TV. And then I can't imagine like these people that just watch YouTube all the time. I love YouTube, but that's all they watch. And these people get paid a lot of money and they're huge stars, and we are living in a different world.
Yeah, I will admit I watch a lot of YouTube.
I do too.
I watch a lot of All Dev Digital. I watch a lot of the Fire Brothers and the React channel. I watch a lot of wrestling stuff on YouTube. Bruce Pritchard's podcast on YouTube.
I think it's
podcast on YouTube. I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube.
I think because it took on-demand TV to another level. That's really what it is.
It sure has.
It's like if I want to watch, we used to watch stuff on TV, Real World, Road Rules, Survivor, whatever. And then it was like, I want more, but you had to wait. You had to wait until the next episode. You had to wait until now. You go on YouTube and if it's an established channel, you got hundreds of hours. Hundreds of hours of whatever you want to watch. You want to watch Call of Duty games all day. It's there for hours.
And if the newest one isn't there, there's always some other content.
There's always
that you can look at. Yeah. Like I bought. There was a sale on iTunes. I bought Batman. The Adam West. 1966 season 1. It was on sale like $10.
Yeah.
And I was watching with my girls, and at the end, same bad time, same bad channel, and so it was watch tomorrow. And one of the girls with me goes, "We have to wait till tomorrow?" No, baby. That's when it was on TV. You had to wait till the next time it would air. Sometimes it'd be, it'll be a week generally. And she's like, "You had to wait a week?"
Yeah,
baby. We had to wait a week to watch the next. But there's 7. They know nothing but
on demand.
Put on demand. It's a whole another world. So when you got on demand gaming. And it was a game you like, and it's got stiff and exciting competition. It's cool. Like I never thought I would enjoy watching League of Legends. I watched League of Legends competitively, and I started playing it because I watched it competitively. They're cool. I give the credit to the announcers because they did a JR worthy level calling of the match because I dug it.
And I think that's the other part of it too. Is it's good entertainment. They've figured out a way to make it entertaining. They got it. It really is. They figured out a way to turn it into a sport.
Exactly.
You got commentary, you got play-by-play, you even got the highlight reel shows and stuff. You can watch past matches and on highlights. Like it's like watching Sports Center, but for esports.
Right. Exactly.
So you go in there and you're like, oh, who won this week? Or who won today, or when or depending on how the matches go.
Exactly.
And they found a way to make it entertaining. So I don't think it's going anywhere. And I've watched my fair share of esports. On Twitch and even on YouTube and everywhere else. I don't really watch too much ESPN because it's ESPN.
Because I hate the Patriots.
All right, so we got Overwatch League. It's definitely seems to be a success so far. Obviously, it's in its infancy, but I think the true test will be see how it lasts. And right now, let's put it out there as we close. Which will last longer, the XFL or the Overwatch League?
Oh my God, Overwatch League.
All right. Oh my God, the Overwatch League.
Overwatch League will be 20 years from now.
How dare you ask that question, Rockinmrmagic? Well, how dare you ask that? Of course it's the Overwatch League. Oh,
Everybody knows that.
okay.
Yeah. I mean, ask us a real question.
I bet you Overwatch League makes more money too.
What will last longer, this winter or the XFL?
Okay. Well,
I mean, the groundhog saw a shadow today, so we know we're at least getting 6 more weeks of winter. Don't know about the XFL.
I don't know about the XFL.
Yeah.
well, do you want to Overwatch team in your city?
I'm not a big Overwatch fan. I've watched a few games, but it's not my favorite game to watch. But I would like to see a couple of different teams, some kind of team in my city, Madden or something.
I mean, that'd
be cool.
We got the Philly team, the Fusion, which is kind of a stupid name. We got the Excelsior. So you're kind of stuck there in the middle of Jersey.
Yeah.
No team in Chi-Town.
Oh no, I'm so disappointed. That's why I'm not watching.
Team. That's not you. No team in Chi-Town. Well, so if there was an e-sport that was repping your city, which would you prefer? And from any game obviously that could be possibly competitive.
I wouldn't go to an e-sport.
I think
can't
I would
imagine myself.
I think I would go. I think it'd be pretty cool to go. Be there. It's like going to a con. Like it's just we're surrounded by people that love the same things.
And depending upon the competition, sometimes they even like the players have entrances.
Yeah.
Like this one dude came in like he was stone cold. And came out to the music and everything.
I think for me, I don't know. Probably Madden. Madden is pretty fun to watch.
Okay.
Because it's like watching the NFL, but everybody has their little coaching strategies and whatever, and then actually, they're actually controlling the players too.
Oh yeah, like that kid
that
won the FIFA tournament was somehow like he was down and he came back and tied it, and then he needed to get another goal, so he subbed out. He put in like 4 strikers or something like that, so he could push and get the goal and end up winning, and he won like a ridiculous amount of money. I don't remember how much money.
League of Legends is pretty fun to watch too.
Oh yeah, League of Legends is a blast to watch.
That's exciting. So I think I would. I think I would want to see League of Legends probably because it would be a bigger draw. I think I think that just draws more people than like the Madden tournaments and stuff.
Okay. And what city in Jersey would be the host of this team?
Hoboken.
The Hoboken Hacks.
I don't know. I think probably I want to say I don't know. Maybe
Asbury Park.
Asbury Park.
The Asbury Park Bam Bams.
Jersey Shore. Seaside Heights. The Seaside Suicide Squad.
Camden.
Well, what would you even call that for Madden? The Camden Squad.
The Camden
Camden Crush.
Yeah.
It'd probably be like the North Brawlers and the Camden Killers.
All right, what about you, Repa, out there in Chicago?
Oh my God, in Chicago, I wouldn't even care. I mean, I just don't get it. I know I'm older and the kids like it, and I can watch it on TV. I watched the Golden Tee Championship the one time on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with it. It's just I can't see myself going to an arena, sitting in a seat, and watching people play on a big screen. I'm just watching on my computer.
I don't even think that's it. I don't think you can see yourself paying to go to that. I can see you doing it. I just don't see you can see.
Yeah, I think the price is definitely obviously something that would have to be fairly reasonable price. I'm not going to pay NFL prices or NBA prices.
I don't pay NFL prices now.
Neither do I.
Definitely not going to do it. It
would have to be like a minor league game or something like $22, something like that.
I mean, I thought about going to the SC Championship game, but my wife had a lease, so I couldn't. So I was really close though. But we went to Cleveland last year. We got a hotel and with tickets and stuff. That was like $600 weekend.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, if you like it, you'll pay to see it.
Cleveland. Oh, anybody want to go to Cleveland?
The Miz, well.
That's because he's from there. Like,
Dolph Ziggler.
And that's why they can't get pushy.
Cleveland. That's like saying that's like going to Maine.
I mean, Cleveland.
Actually, I think Maine might be more exciting.
Not that bad.
Definitely more and cleaner. Infinitesimally cleaner than Cleveland.
It was very easy to get in and out of that stadium. I can tell you that. It's the fastest I've been in and out of stadium because there's nothing going on in downtown on Sunday.
That's because LeBron wasn't there.
And the Browns are nobody even goes to see the Browns game.
Oh, that was
Browns don't even go to see the Browns
West game. That game. No, I mean, what would you pay realistically to go?
I don't know if it's like
$20
something. Yeah, I would pay that.
That would be the max.
And I think it would be more so. I think I would just go for like the other stuff, like
the spectacle
and the swag or whatever they have. You know, because I envision it being kind of like going to like Comic-Con or something. You know, just hanging around a bunch of people. Everybody's got swag, and there's probably some vendors there and stuff.
Oh yeah, and there's going to be
some gaming cabinets.
I mean, they sell at arenas, so people are
People are
popular.
Going. Yeah.
So I could see, they have like some game setups on the side. It's just like when you go to like you go to NFL game, and it's like part of it is actually going to the game, but then like the other part is the
experience,
and the stores and buying the stuff and the vendors and all that type stuff.
Trump is just not going to buy nobody's.
But then the problem is now you're running into, you have young players, very immature sometimes.
Yeah.
And I do believe that the one player said that I think he would enjoy my cock in his mouth or something like that.
Whoa, family show.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're going to run into those problems. You have racist people that play these games, they have channels where they.
Well, no one started Grand Theft Auto League.
No, but I'm just saying, like, that was on Deadspin, I think, this week. Like, he made a homophobic. Yeah, so you have to watch this when you start these leagues too. If you're putting big money in and you want sponsors, you're going to have to. It's going to be very hard to police everything that you have.
They have to clean it up.
Well, it's not the NBA where you can see that other players because you can't hear them unless you're courtside, and nowadays they all cover their mouths, they talk anyway, so who knows?
But that's the thing now. So I mean, you just make that part of the contract. The same way with NFL, NBA, MLB. Listen, you made a homophobic comment or you made a vulgar statement or whatever, you're gonna be fined. It might not. If
I can't play video games and not hear homophobic things when I kill someone, it's just not realistic for me.
Oh, it's gonna be the no fun league now.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're talking about the no fun. I mean, every time I used to go on call,
but then they can make an XFL for esports, and then everything.
That'll be more. That'll be like more ECW for esports.
So when I do have a chance to play video games now, though, it's completely different than it used to be. Like, I don't know, like, people don't know this.
Well, gaming's different from what it used to be.
I met my wife on Xbox.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like I met my wife 10 years ago playing Xbox. She lived in Illinois. I lived in Pennsylvania. And we talked for a few years and stuff like that. Eventually we got together. And then we, just decided that was it. So we've been together for over 10 years now. Met on Lost Planet on Xbox 360, then started playing Halo and stuff. So I liked it. But now when I go on video games, like, people don't talk anymore. Everyone's in private chats or, streaming on Twitch and stuff.
Well, Xbox started that.
That's because, the one wants, some lonely dude in Pennsylvania creeping on them, sliding into they chat.
Exactly. I mean, but it used to be more social. I met a lot of people on Xbox.
Oh yeah,
it was a lot of fun. But
I have
now,
a lot of friends on. I still have a lot of friends on PSN.
I mean, I'm definitely not going to do it now in my mid to late 30s and talk to these people. But at the time, it was a lot of fun. And
no, there's. I know what you mean. The level of community is different. I've met some really cool people. Online, and definitely enjoying, hours, especially, on long games, long things like Destiny raids and stuff. You gotta like the people you're raiding with, or you're not gonna have fun at all.
Yeah,
trying to do those things. So no, I mean
that's the only way you have fun in Destiny.
Yeah. Because if you don't like the people you're with, you're.
More so the game sucks.
Well, that's the other thing. Like now, video games are more grinding nowadays. Like you used to be able to just hop in, play a little bit and leave. Now you have to like grind and do quests.
Well, I think that was a change in the generation too. I mean, like with the rise of all the social media and everything, people just don't talk in general anymore. Nobody calls anybody anymore. Nobody.
They don't know how to communicate.
You go to you go to these places. I mean, like I do interviews, right? And like half the people can't even look me in the eye in a job interview.
Oh, I know, it's terrible.
It's like
people aren't taught that anymore.
Yeah, because you don't grow up that way anymore, and like just keeping people off their phones at work is a full-time job.
Yeah, you express yourself with a GIF.
Yeah, exactly.
No, don't pronounce it like that.
Come on. GIF.
It's a GIF. It's a GIF.
Are we gonna have the GIF versus GIF battle?
It is a G.
No, I said chest, and you were all on me on that, so I'm going GIF now. If you want to go proper.
Oh Lord,
we're gonna have to put this on the Facebook page.
Oh Lord,
versus GIF.
Oh goodness, GIF is peanut butter.
GIF versus GIF.
GIF.
Hey, the guy that created it calls it GIF. I'm calling it GIF. Nah.
That's because that guy's an idiot who doesn't understand.
I always call it GIF, but. Just for this,
just for the fun of it.
Yeah, just for the fun of it.
But man, I think it's changed, but I think there'll be a shift. There's always a shift. There's always that like shift, right? Like I remember when games shift from there was that shift from PC to console, and then there's the shift from from MMO to shooter, and from racing games to sports games, and there's always that kind of like that shift in the culture.
Is anyone gaming in 4K yet?
Not me.
4K TV, bro.
I got the new Scorpion. It's sweet. I played Call of Duty on the.
Yeah, but see,
the one actually.
It's you and your wife, like the two U's, just you and your wife. Like I got kids, all right.
I thought about it, but
kids.
What's
I can afford no
condoms
4K.
are a lot cheaper than kids. Let me tell you.
I thought about it, but I can't see myself paying for the same console.
But the thing is, like, I use like all my entertainment. So I watch like my 4K movies and stuff, and then Netflix in 4K. And,
right.
I mean, I don't play a lot of games on it. I use it for entertainment. I run my TV through it too. It upscales it a little bit, and
yeah, I mean,
it's nice.
I definitely want to get one, but I think I want to wait.
It's a lot of money.
Whatever the next console is, yeah. Because I don't even have. Well, first of all, I have to get a 4K TV, but when I do, then it's like
the video ones are pretty cheap now.
Yeah, no, they're not. They are, but then I also have to buy another console.
Exactly. I mean,
probably the same console that I already have, which is kind of ridiculous.
Just the Pro version.
It's just
So you get your 4K
PlayStation Pro or Scorpion. It's like
you get your VR.
$500.
Yeah, $500 for the one that I already spent $300 on.
Right.
I mean, granted,
you
that
can
was
sell it for like
$5-6 years ago. Yeah, or gave it to GameStop for $10.
$10.
They'll charge you $10.
$10. They offer me a stick of gum. Are you kidding?
Oh, lucky you. You don't get the ex-employee upscale rate.
No, because they hate on this electronics boutique guys. I was the EB guy. They're all about that.
I miss Funko Land.
I just do Best Buy. It has better rewards than GameStop.
Best Buy does have better rewards, but they still screw you with the prices.
I just miss the good old local game store.
I miss Funko Land. Funko Land gave good prices.
What was a good old local game store? It was EB.
Yeah, we didn't have a good old local game store. All of ours were franchises.
It was EB for out of the country, but there was a local game store. There was one here in Emmaus, where I am, that was open for years.
We didn't have any in Jersey. The local game store was EB.
I had one.
GameStop, Funko Land, or KB Toys.
I miss KB Toys. I do. And Toys R Us about to shut down.
Toys R Us is going down.
I didn't go to Toys R Us because you had to wait for someone to unlock the freaking case.
Yeah.
come on, kids today, kids aren't going to be able to understand the joy of browsing through the toy store because Toys R Us is shutting down. Like,
Yeah, the big book of toys, man. The big book of toys.
Man. Freaking Amazon. Like, I understand you want to make money, but it's just something else when you're walking through the aisles.
But even that now, man, kids don't.
What happened? Come on, man. When we were growing up, one thing we all wanted to do was be that kid picked to do the shopping spree dash. Fill the cart.
Toys R Us shopping
spree. Fill that cart. I was like, yo, if I got that, I'm running straight to the Lego section and catch on with Legos. Stop by the video games on my way out. Like the only thing I was interested in, other kids are trying to get bikes and everything. Like, no, bump that.
No, I would hit the wrestling figures and the video games.
Yeah, me it was the action figures, video games, and then I would hit like the model section. Like the model car section, RC cars and stuff.
I had a big wrestling figure collection when I was a kid, and broken He-Man because my grandma used to shop for all my stuff at yard sale. So I got a pretzel box full of broken He-Man one year.
Bradley, broken He-Man.
They were used. Some kid like broke them all, and I got them, and then I don't know what I did with them.
Frankenstein.
You got the leftovers from Sid from Toy Story.
Yeah. And then, like, you'd always have, like, I had a friend that, knew someone in the Nintendo thing and had every game. And, we got to go to his house to play. And then we go to his house and he got shit. He didn't even have a Nintendo. But, yeah, I mean, kids don't have that anymore because they don't even go out. I don't see kids outside anymore.
Nah.
They don't even go to the malls anymore.
I never see kids playing basketball outside or anything.
They don't even ask for toys anymore. They actually, every kid I saw this Christmas got asked for a Nintendo Switch or some kind of console, and
or a phone.
Yeah, I laugh at that.
And like,
phone,
I was that's why like
for.
For you,
now I tell my parents, like when we were kids, like I need a pager. What do you need a pager for? You ain't no doctor. You ain't no drug dealer. I need a phone. You're 8 years old. What you need a phone for?
Like, I envy you, Magic, because you.
I needed a pager because I watched MTV.
Nerf wars and stuff. That was cool.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm
you kept your kids grounded.
No, I keep my kids grounded, man. My kids they want toys. Yeah, because I ain't playing this. 8-year-old kids with phones and crap. Like, no, you ain't get no phone.
Yeah.
You run no business. You ain't got no job. You ain't no phone. Who you call?
I have more toys than most kids nowadays. I got I collect Funkos. Well, I stopped now because they just make one for every freaking thing.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have.
I got Legos for Christmas not this past Christmas, Christmas before.
I got a bunch of special edition stuff from like all my games.
I got 3 Patriot jerseys.
Yeah,
I got a Pip Boy and
nice.
a Batman figure, Terminator figure.
I bought myself comics.
Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, I bought myself comics. They were on sale.
Oh, I got a ton of comics. Oh my god, I gotta find somewhere to put all these.
That's like I went to Newberry Comics when I was in Boston, and I picked up the Phoenix Resurrection.
Nice.
Reading that one. That's pretty good.
I meant to get that one.
Either you reading Batman right now?
No,
actually, I haven't been reading anything.
Oh, because there's a 2-story arc, 2-part arc, 2-book arc on the Batman on the Rebirth.
I was trying to get Dark Knight 3, but I can't find it anywhere.
I will tell you, this was some of the best writing they've had as far as the relationship between Batman and Superman. Long recap short. Bats is engaged to Catwoman, and he's struggling on should he tell Superman, and Superman and Lois are like, he should call me, I shouldn't have to call him, and this kind of their friend dynamic. And they end up going on a double date together, but the writing over these 2 books is phenomenal. Just excellent writing. It's just I definitely check it out. You can probably find it out there. Someone screenshotted it on a digital version and put it out there on the internet. I'm sure you can
Well,
find
I mean,
it.
there is shady websites where you might be able to download all the comic books for the week. I don't know about that.
I usually order mine anyway, or I go to my local. That actually we still have local comic book
You still
stores.
look at the bookstore. I wish we had one. But
We have 2.
Yeah, I got one like right down the street, and then I got one about 20 minutes away. So there's some local comic book stores. I like to buy. I don't know. I mean, I like to buy them on my pad now, though, on my iPad.
I was doing that for a while, and I don't know, something about the actual.
The only problem with that is it can get expensive pretty fast.
you ain't lying.
Like,
especially the digitals.
yeah,
I was doing the Marvel
The Unlimited.
for a while, and then I switched to Comixology, and I was doing that subscription for a while. But I found out they didn't have a lot of the newer ones that
I know it kind of sucks.
It was like all the old stuff, and I was like, you know what? I'll just go buy the book, and it's cheaper. It's like $1, $2 or whatever.
Which is crazy. You would think the digital version would be cheaper because we ain't printing nothing.
No, but the print is actually cheaper.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, like what the deal? Only time I buy digital now is when there's like a crazy sale.
Yeah,
like,
when Comixology does like those 99-cent sales.
Yeah, like they had some of that. So like I bought like the Phoenix Saga for like $3.
Yeah.
I bought like Civil War for like $5. I'm like, okay, that's worth it. Did you do that when it's that cheap? But digital, otherwise, yeah, it was crazy expensive.
Yeah, it's crazy how expensive comics got in general. Remember, they were like 50 cents.
I know, and they're so small. You read them in like 10 minutes.
They're like $3.
They're like 20 pages max.
Yeah.
I remember I bought and then you get and then you're like, well, you know what? I'll just wait for the paperback, but then that's like $30.
$20-$30. It's and I mean, I like to read the stories and stuff. I like the artwork and stuff. I can't be like, oh my god, I'm gonna stare at that page for like 5 minutes and totally get my $4 worth out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm just kind of glancing through the panels.
I'm just reading the
holding his iPad.
Yeah.
Baby, what you doing? I'm getting my $4 worth.
Yeah, I gotta take in every detail of this artwork.
Wait, what are you doing? Why are you zooming in on that corner? I'm making sure I get every detail, every pixel out of this thing,
every pen stroke.
Yep. Oh, slide slow. There you go. Going half panel by half panel.
Man, I didn't chip me with the colors in this one.
Yeah, it's just terrible sometimes. I'm trying to even see what I got on it. I have like
I've got a ton, man. I'll be here all day if I went through all my comics.
I mean, my favorite story of all time, though, I still love The Red Sun. I read that every once in a while.
The Red Sun was
still.
good. I think my favorite is Death with the Family. That was good.
We'll wrap it up because that was a really way of me extending the wrap up. That was my bad. As we took a page down as the world turns, as all of our listeners found out how we just some old crotchety old men about the old days. That's right, those days were good. The good old days were good. Not knocking y'all young bucks, but them good old days.
Back when we had an XFL?
Really good. Back when we had the XFL, baby. Nah, back when we had the USFL and my Michigan Panthers, starring my uncle Johnny Williams, love you, Uncle John, Michigan Panthers champions until Donald Trump screwed it up by moving them to compete head-to-head with the NFL. That's what killed it.
Back when XFL was
that was the pre-XFL,
the headliner.
The USFL.
The XFL was the headliner, and wrestling was still good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And video games were played.
And video games, you bought the game, you got the whole game.
Offline.
You paid $50 and you got the whole game.
You got the whole game.
You have to buy.
And you had to buy a multi-tap to play with all your friends.
Word. And you could actually do split screen. You could play freaking GoldenEye together and get it in.
And have GoldenEye parties.
To play with
or you could call plays on your Dreamcast controller.
Oh, that was so
awesome. Dope. So dope. Because then you didn't have these cats
looking at you, yeah.
You know,
and you could take
your plays.
You can take your memory card with you and play. What was that game they had on there? Yeah,
Tachi thing where you had the pad.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I'm gonna have to pop up with my Dreamcast and play some Shenmue now.
Oh man, I miss my Dreamcast. Mine broke years ago.
Terrible. You can get one. You can find one on $30. Get a Dreamcast.
Years
Come on
ago,
now.
man.
My wife has like the Dreamcast shirt from the original Dreamcast. You got like a shirt with
When it came with the white shirt,
yeah. It's a
That was
black
great.
one though.
Yo,
but, like,
Dreamcast-
mine came with the white one.
And Dreamcast had the only commercials. I remember the NHL 2K Joan where the Red Wings were talking trash to whole boy, and
My favorite.
they were like, Billy, it was like, you go home and cry to your mommy, or the mom picked up the phone and was like, hello, mommy. You know, in that Russian accent, they were talking mad trash. They had
Dreamcast. We have a Dreamcast, I think, for NBA 2K. They killed live.
yeah.
yeah, I mean, and NFL 2K was awesome too. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
But
But,
NBA 2K
and
was,
then Madden got scared and they bought the rights. And then
Exactly, because it's a better game.
but NBA 2K was where it's at, especially with 2K1 with AI on the cover. That was fire.
There was always football games better than Madden.
NFL 2K was amazing.
Remember Joe Montana
it was a
football
little
for
cartoon.
Sega Genesis?
Yeah, that was a
That was
good
a good game. Well, to me, the best game was Tecmo Super Bowl, though.
Tecmo Super Bowl.
I mean, that was hot.
You got to run in circles to get the touchdown.
What about John Elway football in the arcade?
But I didn't like that.
I never
didn't
played
like
it.
it.
A little
didn't like
flick
it.
stick?
No, I didn't like it. I just didn't like it.
Remember,
I didn't like the gameplay.
what was it? Extreme football.
I remember Blitz.
Oh,
NFL
like
Blitz.
yeah, Blitz.
It was like that's what. It was. But
Blitz,
there was Blitz, and then there was the other one too, though.
Yeah, there
Oh,
was
yeah,
two.
I know what you're talking about. Like that Arch Rivals wouldn't be one.
Yeah,
That had Lawrence Taylor in it or something like that.
yeah.
I forget what that was called.
NBA Street,
XFL Light.
XFL, like.
Which one was better, NBA Street or NFL Street?
I like the NBA Street better.
Yeah, NBA Street was good.
That's got Dr. J with that fro, though. That was hot. It was fire.
Yeah, the Death Row fighting game.
No, I was a Death Row. You're talking about
Def Jam.
Def Jam, yeah.
Def Jam Pro
Icons.
Wrestling game. Yeah, it was Def Jam Fight for New York. That was fire.
Ready to Rumble.
I was playing Ready to Rumble with Afro Thunder.
He's
That was
He's
the
being
Dreamcast
lifting the
was
weights.
Yeah.
He's bench pressing in the gym.
Well, did you ever play far enough to unlock Michael Jackson in Ready to Rumble?
Nope.
Did I? Nah, I don't think I did.
That is like a crazy challenge. Like I have to play that enough to unlock Michael Jackson because the combos that he had were like super hilarious. But I never.
My favorite was Power Stone. Power Stone.
Oh, Power Stone's a great game.
Yeah, because we used to play with the four of us. Oh man, that was great. Tag team.
And then Crazy Taxi, man. Come on,
Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, I have Crazy Taxi on the Xbox.
I got Crazy Taxi on my Xbox too.
Yeah.
Nah, see, I still got it on my Dreamcast. I can't play it on anything else. I can't.
I mean, the music's not as good. It used to.
No, Offspring. I did Offspring do like half the soundtrack to that.
Yep.
Yeah, Jet Grind Radio. Remember that?
Yo, Jet Set Radio Future.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That game used to come with the Xbox bundle. That and the Sega GT whatever racing game.
Yeah, Sonic.
And that was like the first system you could play online.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm. They had Fantasy Star servers for that up until like 2 years ago.
It was so laggy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So I played
it was
on
ahead of its
that.
time, though. I mean,
Yeah.
it was still ahead of its time.
I think it was Madden 2000 was on the PC. But everyone had Dante Culpepper on the cover. I played that on the PC
remember
online,
that.
and it was
Madden
so
2000,
laggy.
Yeah, but that game was
So
hot. That's
laggy.
when they finally put Barry Sanders on the show.
Yep. But I remember that too. Yeah, I remember, and everybody would always quit on me.
That's
Or their
what, yeah,
connection
they
would
do
drop
that.
out. They connection would quote unquote drop out.
They pulled the plug on you. They pulled the plug.
I remember when I went to college, I was like, "Oh my god, we have DSL," and I was like, "I can play Madden and actually win a game."
Well, I remember when we brought I brought my Dreamcast L-Tri-C a couple times and played in that little student lounge there on the right of the
Oh,
cafeteria.
you remember I brought my PlayStation 2 almost every day.
Yeah. I mean, you'd hook that up on that little TV.
Yep. And we would just rock out.
Oh yeah, we used to bring our PlayStation 2 to Senior year.
I mean, when I worked at Dorney Park during my lunch break, I would just play Street Fighter 2 at the arcade there in the employee cafeteria, and
I used to play Time
played
Crisis.
the whole.
Time Crisis. See, I couldn't do Time
That was when I
Crisis.
worked at Fernwood.
Too expensive.
Yeah, I
Was
need
it-
a
was
game
it-
that I can play for a while on a quarter.
Yeah. Well, I worked at Fernwood, so I would get it for free. You just open the cabinet and punch up.
That's all I got to say about that. Well, you know, I can't talk because Repa knows he used to come in my house and cats would be playing.
You had Pac-Man, yeah.
My mom had the Pac-Man
pinball.
cabinet and the Star Trek pinball from the movie, so we would be balling on that. So I can't talk. So I grew up with a pinball machine and Pac-Man cabinet in my house.
I never got into pinball that much. I always played it, but not like. I mean, some people are like into pinball.
Oh yeah,
That's
Well,
all
not-
they play.
Well, nowadays, you know, young kids don't even know what pinball even is. Like, they never don't listen to the Who song.
Here comes the crotchety old man again.
Yeah, but but they'll listen to the song and they'll be like, "Well, what's pinball?"
Well, they have pinball and like Xbox and stuff,
They-
and the
pinball.
iPads.
Yeah, it's not the same though.
They've never touched a pinball machine. Some
They
of them
never got that tilt
cheated.
warning.
They never got that tilt warning because we was telling we was cheating. We was telling it.
This is arcade down by well, it's a little far from me. It's probably like a half hour, but they got like all the retro pinball
Oh,
machines.
you talking about that retro play? Yeah, they got a couple locations in Jersey. I
Yeah.
forget what it's called.
Yestercades.
Yestercade, that's right. Yeah.
They
They
got a
have
bunch.
this place called Nickel
retro
City
stuff.
where you can play for like a nickel.
Nice.
You have to
What?
play like $2 entrance fee, and then you got to buy nickels. Well, I mean, they cost 5 cents. So,
That's
That's
cool.
not
yeah, you
bad
can
at
just play
all.
for no.
Yeah, Yestercades is kind of like that. You buy a certain amount of hours or something like that.
They don't have a membership or anything like that?
I don't know. I'll have to find out the next time I go.
Yeah.
What's really big by my house though is next to the comic shop. They have one of those game like they have all the PCs or whatever that people play on.
Like LAN parties.
Yeah, it's crazy all the time on the weekends, especially.
That's pretty cool.
Kids are just there forever.
I always wanted to own a game shop.
Yo,
I
I'm
wanted to
telling-
go all the time, but
Dog, I'm telling you, I'm working on it. We're going to make it happen. We're going to
That'd
make
be so
it
cool, man.
happen.
Just have like
But
bunch of
Repa,
couch-
you remember Jillian? You remember Jillian's the Turn of the Banana Joes, right?
what? Banana Joe's, yeah, where people got shot at a 50 Cent concert across the street.
Right. Yeah. Well, the building's still empty, so
Yeah, like, I found a homeless guy dead there too.
Yeah, they did. What I would love to do is turn that into a gaming lounge, which is
Yeah.
a gaming lounge / game store.
That's it, man.
Tournaments
A
there.
bunch of couches and chairs.
Yeah, couches,
and,
chairs,
TV.
TVs, tournaments for consoles, tournaments for board gaming. Have a retro room, with pinball.
Should do the old freight yard.
arcades. The freight yard. I thought about
Very
that,
true.
but
It's bigger.
it's bigger, but it doesn't. The access, to the city and the people, is not as easy to get to the freight yard. Like, no one wants to go out there, but
Yeah, that's the thing. It's all about location. too.
yeah, it's about location.
Oh, I was watching one of these murder shows on TV the one night. You know what I'm talking about? Like Discovery, whatever. Like someone
yeah,
kills
the
someone.
48 hours.
So they had this one on it was in Catasauqua, and like the beginning, it's like, and they met at the club, and like, it's the freaking main gate. Went there every Thursday night.
Murder from the main gate.
Yeah, they must have met on Thursdays like college night with the Muhlenberg girls.
Oh my God. Folks, thank you for listening to this episode of the Original Jeek podcast and our bonus episode on top of that, 3 Old Men Go Down Memory Lane. And if you like that part too, we might just make another show just focusing on
Yeah, we
our
should.
down
It's
memory lane.
You can call it crotchety
Crotchety
old
old
gram.
man.
Three crotchety-
Crotchety old gamers.
Yeah, 3 crotchety old Jeeks go down memory lane, and tell you about the cool stuff that you missed. Like the GI Joe battle, the GI Joe, airplane carrier joint that was like 20 feet long. It only cost like $500. Well, we thank
Or just going in a straight line in Kung Fu and getting killed by like potted plants falling from the sky.
I was playing Kung Fu on Sunday on Twitch, and dude, those plants don't even get me on that.
And I think in honor of G.I. Joe, you should end this with a public service announcement.
This is a public service announcement from G.I. Joe. Kids, stay school. Sergeant Slaughter was on the show just because he was so awesome and in WWF. Stay in school, don't do drugs. And
don't buy downloaded content.
Don't buy downloaded content. That's the current PSA. Do not buy downloaded content. Don't illegal pirate. And please, if you see somebody doing something wrong, tell somebody. That way, we don't have to deal with all this other scandal stuff.
And please buy the whole game.
And buy the whole and developers make a whole game.
Make a whole game.
Make a whole game. I'm tired of buying the bun and then be like, "Where's the meat at? Where's the cheese? Where the pickles?" And tell me up high $20 extra for each other piece. And I ain't with it. These indie developers are going to start taking your money, and y'all going to be nobody. So EA, I can't go there because I'll start cussing. So
downloaded content used to be like you unlocked it by beating the game or something like that. Now you unlock it by buying it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, that's another episode. So we thank you for listening to the Original Jeek podcast. Your host, Rockinmrmagic, UniqDNA, and our special guest, Brad Repa. We thank you for listening to us. Have a great day. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.